enjoy. Everybody else, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, hello. So, how do you like the house I found for you? Beautiful, isn't it?
Hello and welcome to Core. This is Core, talking video games from the top to the bottom. The top being, corporate-y stuff, all the way down to, hey, my game made my PC crash, and everything in between. And we're happy to be here. It's me, Scott Johnson, with Bo Schwartz, and John Jagger. And it is episode 396. I didn't realize how perilously close to 400 we are. That's pretty crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
The big 400. It's almost Core 40K. We just...
Core 40K.
39,600 to go.
It's basically there. Yeah. We got to start planning.
What are we? Let's do our. What is our 40K personalities? Is anyone here like a full-on space marine or a space wolf?
I'm gonna be a space nun. Ever since I played a nun in virtual reality, I'm all about the space nuns.
Yeah, those were cool. I kind of want to be one of those robot priests, techno priests. That's who I want to be.
Yeah,
they're cool.
I
John, what do you want to be? What do you feel like if in that world? What
do I want to be?
Yeah.
In the 40K world.
That's a shitty world, guys.
It's a real bad world.
I want to be better. I don't know. A happy, innocent orc.
Oh, sweet.
It's not a part of anything, but just sits around and lives his best life.
He just plays Sega Genesis.
He's not worried about what's going on. He just sits there with his accent and just has a good old time.
I like it.
Yeah,
those
great.
exist. They can't all be crazy and flying weird contraptions and blowing shit up, right? Some of them stay at home and do stuff.
I don't think that fits my personality, but that's what I'd want to be. Everybody else seems like they're really... I've never been one for authority, so I feel like a space marine wouldn't be good. They're kind of all about authority.
No, yeah, you're totally right about that. Yeah, plus they're just way too into it. Like they think... You know what I mean? Like they see this as a really honorable thing in a world that's gone complete
the universe is trying to kill them. All the Xenos, like everything, not just one Xenos, all the Xenos, like, and the warp, the people, the Chaos Legion from the warp, like.
Yeah, I mean we need them. We need them.
Everything wants humanity dead.
But I don't.
I'm just saying I'd get executed so quickly in that world because it would be like day 2 of history class, and I'd be like, this emperor.
Yeah. You're making this shit up, aren't you, about this guy?
What's he doing?
Yeah, what's up with the god emperor?
What's going on here? And I'd get locked up immediately.
Yeah, you join the heretics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's kind of a cool thing to be.
You don't have to believe to serve in the spice mines.
No. You just have to play Darktide.
Yeah, but maybe that's why I don't like Darktide. It just seems like my future in that world. I'd be
Darktide is your offer.
Me.
You're offered... if you repent, you're offered the freedom to fight for the emperor for as long as you get to live.
I wouldn't repent.
That's the deal.
Yeah,
that's like digging your own grave. I remember, I think it was the show Prison Break. I was watching one episode where they pointed a gun at a guy, and they're like, "Dig," and I was like, "That'd never be me." I'd be like, "No, I'm not digging. Just shoot me.
Yeah, just shoot me dead.
If you're gonna put me in a hole, you're gonna dig it yourself. I'm not doing it." And like by digging it, that guy survived. So, maybe buying time was the smart move, but not me. I'm not. Last thing I do on this planet is dig a hole. Like that sucks. No, you're going to have to do it.
Plus, from the Space Marine point of view, you don't have the religious zealotry about you to do that.
No.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't even be a good zealot in the Protoss army. I don't think they're so devoted to
their religions are way better than our religions, though. I'd be a zealot.
Their religion is okay.
I do like space religion a lot. I like space religions. They crack me up. They intrigue me. They're interesting, even when they're like, I don't know. Battlestar Galactica had some fun with that. The Expanse had some fun with that. I like those concepts, but if you're asking me if I want to be one of those people, I don't think I want to be them. I think I'd rather.
Space religion's
you're
also
born in this world.
Yeah,
they're also a little more willing to operate in the realm of fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're less about faith overall.
The fact that the Omni-Messiah exists.
Yeah,
that's true. Like you get a visit from somebody, you're like, oh, like it changes you. It changes your perspective.
But also, like, even though it's all trumped up, like the Omni-Messiah stuff, they have they have perfectly working things in their life, their day-to-day techno priest life that confirm their belief, right?
Yeah.
So everything
They
they
don't.
do,
They don't know how it works anymore. My understanding is they lost the knowledge to make that stuff. It just all exists, so they got to care for it,
and maintain it. Yeah,
and they got to bless their guns and stuff. But
I love that crap.
there's
Love that.
what I like about Warhammer 40K is there's nothing suggesting that in the future when we travel space that these things won't happen. Like there isn't a warp. Like I don't know, there might be a warp, and there might be alien races, and all they want to do is just kill us. We'll just be calling them Xenos, like the Star Trek universe, where like, oh, we met a friendly race. Let's exchange helium together. And it's like no, they just want to murder us. Like everything is just hostile. Now that they know where we are in space, they just want to murder us.
Love the idea that that's how diplomacy works in Star Trek. Picard's just like, send it over.
Yeah.
Now we will do it together.
Yep.
Make it so.
You squeak them, you suck it in, you blow it in the other guy's face, you talk funny for a minute. That's how
Everybody has a laugh and we all get along.
that's how intergalactic peace is struck, everybody. That's amazing. I love all that. We're gonna get right to it today. Before I do though, I want to mention something. So we had a really awesome person in the community named Notre1. It's like Notre Dame the way it's spelled, but then a number 1. Anyway, he donated a Disco Elysium code on Steam.
Oh shit!
One of the greatest RPGs ever made by all accounts. And we're going to give that away at the end of the show today. So when the show ends,
we're going to make somebody depressed. This is awesome.
yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So if you're in the chat room and you're like, oh man, I'm glad I'm here tonight, don't leave because we're not doing this till post show. But as soon as post show starts, we will give that code away. One of you will be the happy owner of Disco Elysium.
Oh, we're not. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to backseat your contest giveaway, but we're doing it post show.
Well, it's just for live people since they're here.
Okay,
you know?
just yeah, that's a reward
It's
for
just
being
that
watching live.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you screw
I
it
like
up so gloriously that people on the podcast might want to hear it.
No, you're right. They do usually.
Yeah, I thought we went over this. That's why I brought it up. I was like, I thought we had a whole arc where we made Scott do something he didn't really feel like
that's
doing.
true. How did that go last time? I don't remember how that
It
went.
went badly. Like it went badly.
Yeah, but people loved it. It ended up being like a really favorite moment in the show's history. But I don't want to necessarily try to recreate that.
No, don't try to recreate it, but I'm just saying, like, let's not avoid including it because it might be gold.
All right, I'll tell you what. It will definitely be somebody it's because I'm doing it in somebody in the chat. It doesn't matter when we do it, but I'll still do it after the show because nobody who's at home listening to this who knows they're not going to win, they don't care. You know what I mean?
Well,
might
hang on.
care
I have
if
to
it
push
falls
back on
apart,
that too because if it means the difference between the show being 2 hours 50 minutes and the show being 3 hours 10 minutes, I think everyone wants the show longer. It's just a meme now. Like, you know, you're like, we got to keep it shorter. We won't include it in the show, so we have a reasonably sized show, and everyone's like, boo,
boo, make it longer.
Like, don't even care. You guys could talk about caterpillars for all I care. Just don't talk about World of Warcraft. We heard about that one.
Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want as long as it's not.
As long as it's not
Warcraft.
WoW. Yeah, that guy was not happy with all our talk about WoW. He wasn't the only one. There were a few people, but
They're gonna love this episode because we didn't talk about Season of Discovery. Buckle up, gamers.
yeah, buckle up. Actually, you guys are gonna have to tell me. I'm gonna have to learn from you because I didn't play it. So
It's a big thing happening for those people who are. We're not going to be playing it forever. This is not a WoW show. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not
just
doing that.
It's just happening now. Well, there's other stuff to play.
I've got 2 chore core games to talk about today. All right, you'll get plenty of that. Don't worry.
I've got an esports game to talk about. I think all of us do.
Oh yeah, dude. You were not selling false advertisement. That is a cool game. We'll talk about it. We'll get to it. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm giving away Disco Elysium. Whether I do it before Grandma or after, who knows? All right. And by Grandma, I mean John.
Look, you're the conductor. We're trying to be good serfs and not cause too much of an uprising when it comes to you planning out and doing the show.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
I understand.
People like content, even if it's the lowest effort content from us.
That is true. Well, let's find out if the following is that. It's time to talk about what we played this week, and we're going to start with the finals. Now, you might say, Scott, what is that? Some esport that you're watching, and it's the final games, you know? No. It's a game called The Finals.
I haven't decided how I feel about that title. I like it, but also I'm like, It's exactly as we described. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
not really.
I
a
hated it
thing,
at
but,
first.
like,
I really didn't like it when I first heard it because I was like, well, that's confusing. It's like naming your band Live or or we talk about this a bit all the time. It's like
yeah.
hard to SEO your name when you're called the finals. But if you're a good enough game, maybe it works out in the end. So let's talk about the finals. The finals is rad. Bo talked about it when he was playing the open beta or the closed beta or whatever that was.
Open.
Was it open? Okay. And you were raving about it. Saw you playing some. You shared some video of you playing it. And it looked cool. But I'm like, well, I mean, we've seen a lot of team-based squad shooters lately.
Yeah,
You know,
there is a bit of been there, done that with the game.
Yeah.
for sure.
But this looked different in some pretty special ways, mostly environmental destruction. Also like how they really lean into the vibe of it being a live kind of Running Man game show sort of thing. But let's start with you guys, since you were able to play with each other. I couldn't because I was doing Greg things on Tuesday, but you guys played some. We'll start with John. What did you think of the finals? Because I think the finals is cool, but I need to know if I'm up in the night or if I'm over promoting it, because I think it's rad. What do you think?
No, I think it's solid. I think what this does well, because as you kind of said, this is well-worn territory for a lot of video games.
Mhm.
And so what this game does is the important things, which is the gameplay, is good. It's solid.
Mhm.
Shooting feels good. The running around, traversal, all that feels good. Using your abilities feels good. And then what it kind of adds to the table is this branding of being a game show. You kill people and they explode into coins, and everything sounds a little bit like a slot machine, and everything is just sort of branded on this game show. You're just making money. It's not serious. This isn't wartime. You're not a hero on the battlefield. You're just out there making cash and having fun.
Right.
And I think that adds a lot. And then of course the destructibility is a major factor too. I think that also can't be discounted, because it certainly leans into a lot of what I would consider like the highlight moments of the game. Is I think when Bo and I were playing, there was a moment where I knew I was on the floor under where I needed to be, and I'm just looking for stairs. And I'm like, where are stairs? I just need to find stairs. I need to get up there. I finally found a staircase, and the second I started running up it, it blew up and the stairs were gone.
Yep.
And
John's still in the phase of the game where he's like hasn't given in. He's trying to be a killer in a world of destruction. It's just fine, but
Yeah.
but he hit me at a different phase because most of the destruction was my fault. But I'll get to that.
Oh, all
I'll
right.
get to that after he's had his say. I just wanted to chime in.
Advanced play is blowing up shit, it sounds like to me.
I don't know if it's advanced. It's,
it's certainly play. I mean, we
it's a
played
strategy.
We
Yeah.
played with somebody who they didn't know how to stop destroying, and I think Bo felt inspired by seeing them play, because we were doing a match, very legitimately trying, and we just had this heavy partner that just any chance they could charge, they were charging through walls. When they weren't charging through walls, they were throwing grenades. When they weren't throwing grenades, they were smashing things. Like, it was nonstop, and we just stand there and we just watch them destroy everything around us. You know what? We won that match, and it was a large part thanks to them and their destruction. And it was really impressive. And after that, I think Bo found a calling in life, because Bo unlocked the grenade launcher, and nothing was ever the same.
So I had that feeling too. Like, my approach in beta was the sort of same as John's: play a light, use throwing knives, be tactical, get good kills, get headshots at the state. Like, play. This is a shooter. Like, do the shooter things, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But I largely ignored the destructibility, except, oh, it's cool when the buildings blow up, and then. But you don't want to play a lame heavy, right? Like, the heavy guy's the one that does all the destroying. But you're like, he's got a pot belly. He doesn't look the most badass out of all the dudes. But I've come around on playing the heavy, which is all I play now, because of what John just described. Like, and I've noticed that in beta too, that like it's the game has a capture a point sort of thing where it's like you put up goo walls, set up mines. Here we're capping the point. We got 60 seconds to turn the thing in. You're not going to get it. We're going to hunker down. And in most shooters, because walls are invulnerable, it's hard to get. Grenades only do splash damage, so like you got to try and shoot things into holes. It's hard to get in there. But I've like this. you can basically, if the cash out box is on a floor above you, you can take a rocket launcher and shoot the floor and drop the cash box down a floor and like mess up their whole defensive strategy. Or you can shoot the ceiling above with the rocket launcher, open a hole and fire a grenade launcher into where they're holed up because you've just created a new opening. So there's this really interesting game mechanics around like, yes, you need to hunker down, but also the whole environment, like the map can change on a whim depending on what you're facing. And I just find it immensely satisfying to destroy the environment and create chaos so that people can't peacefully steal your cash out box. Yeah. And I love it.
I had some time in the game as well, not with you guys. I wish I would have, but I had a blast. The thing I noticed though very early in my initial play was with 2 randos, and it's teams of 3. We should mention that 3 teams of 3. Most of them. Is there? I don't know if there's anything different. I think that's what it always is.
There's Quick Cash, which is 3 teams of 3, and then there's the other one, Bank It, which is 4 teams of 3.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but
it's always a 3 stack.
It's always a 3 stack, yeah. And I was having a great time, but I have these conventional ideas of what a shooter does geometrically, and one of them was, we're all coming out on this bridge. That's the exit point from the spawn. So that's, of course, where we're going to come charging across. And we're going to do that every time because that's the bridge. And then a guy blew up the bridge.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but a death fall below that. And I went, oh, shit. You have to think of these things. So now it's like, find the ropes, find the stuff, use your kit, get around other ways, fly through that window, and then, grapple onto that. Like all these different ways of approaching it. Meanwhile, the other team is taking advantage of the fact that they killed our main road into there. So now we're all having to do alternates. Meanwhile, that gives them an advantage to hurry up and get with their cash box. But then if we're smart, we get there and do like you were saying. We literally can drop the floor out from underneath them and hurt them real bad doing that, and also change up their whole strategy. It's really something to watch. And I think that's the mix that makes this different. Because otherwise, if this was just Counter-Strike or Apex Legends or something, the fast-paced gameplay is there, run around, slide slide into a piece of cover, headshot this, do that, whatever. You can heal, depending on your kit, you can heal each other as well. So there's like a lot of the stuff you're used to in those kinds of games. But then they just took this other element that I feel like maybe even EA was trying to work on for so long with Battlefield and never quite got right with destructible environments. It was more eye candy than anything else. It didn't feel very strategic. This suddenly feels like an actual part of the game, not just the look of the game or the feel of the game, but the game is played by blowing up crap. And turns out that's a fun combo.
See, I even learned the other day you can break walls with the sledgehammer. So there's melee weapons. The heavy gets a sledgehammer, and I thought it was just a melee weapon, which it is. It does a lot. Melee does a ton of damage in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
But the secondary fire, if you hold the right mouse button, you can just smash walls with the sledgehammer, which makes sense. It's a sledgehammer. It's classically what you see it doing in real life. But it's a new tool that I discovered. It's just fun. Like it's just like, here you go, break every wall you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes it unique. That's the juice. Also, it's like feels like a good shooter. Like the guns feel good, and the time to kill is really low. It's not Overwatch where you're gonna pump 500 Soldier 76 bullets into Winston, and Winston still doesn't die. It's kind of everything will die fairly quickly. So, including yourself. But no, it's a really competent shooter, and the destructibility makes it a lot of fun.
Are we going to? We should play Tuesday.
Yeah. What are we doing after show? Do we have to be anywhere? It's Friday.
I mean, we could play tonight.
Maybe we'll have a short show, everyone.
Maybe.
Let's see how we'll see how this stupid throat thing goes. I wouldn't mind. I was so hooked on playing this, and all I could think of was, damn it, I want to play with Bo and John. It just annoyed me.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more fun with friends. Although I have now, Bo convinced me to try the shotgun cloaking light, and I'm having so much fun with it that even playing with randos, I've seen a lot of success now.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where that was not the case, but I am having a better time with that. But I think the game is shifting, like it's early days in the game. And you can definitely see shifts happening where I think when I first adopted it, it felt like I was untouchable.
Hmm.
And now I'm noticing this weird shift where snipers are just picking me off constantly for some reason. I don't know if that's cheating. It doesn't seem like it. It does actually seem like it's a level of skill, but like all of a sudden it just feels like there's almost like a sniper meta. But it's early days, so everything's shifting, I feel like. So there's no just set this is how you play it just yet.
No monster builds.
And that's the that's the best time to enjoy games like this, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. The maps are crazy. They're set in a. It's hard to explain how these are presented. I think Bo explained it a couple of weeks ago, so I'm probably doubling up here. But they're constructed like real places, but it's just been made for you to have this fight in. And
it's like a stadium that has augmented reality, but it's like a holodeck reality.
Yeah,
like it's real.
Yeah,
it's basically a holodeck, right?
There you go. Yeah, that's exactly it. I couldn't think how to describe it. That's exactly it. Unreal 5.2, I believe this engine's running. It's beautiful as a result. Gorgeous game.
Yes.
I don't know that I've seen a shooter look this pretty in a while. So that was
pretty
nice.
And had the destructible environments, because usually it's like, oh, it takes so much RAM or something to do destructible environments, but like it's pretty and
yeah. The fire looks good. The reflections are awesome. It just feels really visceral. And I haven't played something like that in a while. Like I feel like I'm going to get my ass handed to me pretty hard, pretty quick though, because there will be metas, like John says, and it'll be.
This is an objective based game. It's one of those games where it's like having the most. There's no death match. Like whoever has the most kills is the best. Like. Mm-hmm. As long as you get the boxes, you can die more than you get kills. Like when I play medium, I'm usually healing and insta-rezzing with the defibrillator. I'm not getting that many kills, but I'm winning games because it's about the objective, right? So it really is a balance of both. Like I think when you first get in, you're like, it's a shooter, let me get kills, and that's fun. But then when you start, like, you get more currency for winning, and when you want to try winning, it doesn't. The number of kills won't really win you the game. It's like, getting the cash boxes.
Yeah.
And so there's just something to it where it's like it's very satisfying to like steal from people. That's why I like enjoy the bit. Like I'm like, all these elite shooter gamers, they don't know what's coming for them. Those skills are ass. I just break the building up from underneath them. You let them do their shooting stuff, and I'm like, whatever, I win the game. Like it doesn't know, so it's kind of fun like that.
Yeah. It's cool. So plan on playing more. And John, anything else you want to add to your time in there?
No, I'm having a good time with it. I think it's pretty solid. I'm looking forward to playing more.
Yeah,
I'm definitely invested. I bought cosmetics. So,
you did? I was gonna say, has anybody spent money? Sounds like you did.
I did as well.
Oh, look at you guys!
I bought the battle pass, which it's a free game, so just
it's a good battle pass.
I will say this, like free games, and this has always been my policy. If the game is free and I'm putting in hours and I'm getting enjoyment out of it, I will give the game money one way or another.
Of course,
that is what I believe in. So I bought the battle pass. I did not plan on spending any more money than that. And then I saw Bo in a business suit looking real good. And whenever we went to the loading screen, he was doing a cool swivel in a chair. And I went. So unapologetically, I just bought the pack that Bo had for the business suit.
I think because I clearly spent a lot. John was over.
I know how much Bo spent because I know how much I spent to have a small fraction of what I saw Bo have.
Yeah.
So Bo definitely gave them.
I full price gamed it. I'm excited. They got me. Yeah, I'm a happy customer.
Got in there.
I'm not spending thousands, but yeah, definitely dropped 60 bones or so in there and got.
I got my business.
Look, they did it right.
I got a mask.
Yeah.
In closed beta, they gave me all the free monies, and I got my guy looking real good and loving them. And then I got to the real launch, and I'm like, "Where's? I can't feel special or unique anymore."
Yeah, they
like,
take
well,
your
I gotta
stuff back,
pay
man.
to get back there.
It's pretty generous. So I'm looking at it's a 96 level battle pass, season 1 battle pass. That's a lot for a launch, isn't it?
It is. I will actually say I think it feels a little slow.
Oh, getting unlocking.
There's daily quests and stuff though. That's part of it. I think
it is a part of it, but I think overall, as a battle pass
Yeah.
aficionado, I'll say it feels a little slow.
Yeah. I'm see that's the problem is the battle passes are always going to be compared against their best implementation. And right now that's probably Fortnite in terms of cadence.
Yeah.
And that's going to bug some people. I
I
mean, it
mean,
bugged
we're
people
gonna
with Diablo.
we're gonna talk about how easy, like Fortnite's battle pass value just skyrocketed, but we'll get to that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Hadn't heard
it's
this. I mean,
well,
I know
you heard all the new game modes they added, right?
I did. I assume that's
They
why.
all progress the battle pass.
Oh, one
It
battle
doesn't
pass.
you don't just progress it by doing the battle royale. I went and played Lego Fortnite for a little bit before the stream so I could talk more about it, and I unlocked 2 levels of battle pass from it.
Damn.
Nice.
Like it's again, I'm not saying that one needs to be the other, but I feel like we played a lot of rounds of that game. I feel like I was at least somewhat conscious of the quest that it was giving me, while still trying to play the game properly. And that's where I sometimes will get a little iffy on battle passes and questing around it, is when it's like all rewards should be fairly tied to playing the game. And maybe it encourages a little experimentation, but like in general, you should be encouraged to go in and play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
And it feels like I've unlocked 3 or 4 things, despite playing the game almost all day one day, and several matches here and there on multiple others. So it just feels a little slow, but I mean they can always tweak that sort of thing if other people feel the same way. I don't know.
I'm just impressed with how many levels it is. Jeez Louises.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff in there. It's a first person game, so you may have opinions on the merits and value of a skin, but I think they do a good job of showing you your character and showing off your character model to a degree where even though you don't see it constantly during the match, you want it to look cool.
Yeah, it feels like it's like Apex that way, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
Unlike Fortnite, which is, third person, obviously. You get a better view of your dude. There's some funny names in here. There's something called a charm. You get at level 33 on the premium pass called Slick Sloppy. All right. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'll play with a Slick Sloppy.
Why not?
Oh, Slick Stoppy. That's even better.
Yeah. I got to gush. We're still in finals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I got a little distracted. Sorry. But like,
You're
talking about like stuff on the battle pass, like in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's really good things on there. And, I think one thing I really like about this game too, I'm just not sure if it's intended, is the dystopic like taste that it has.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like I'm not even sure if they're doing it on purpose, but they like everything has a brand. There's all kinds of brands, and everyone looks like they're in a Gap ad or something, like posing with their guns. It's like it's the finals. It's so cool, but it's like it's awful, right? Like guns are terrible and like violence is like abhorrent, but like they made it into a game show, like it's like Family Feud or Jeopardy of the future, right? And it sort of implies a dystopic world around it. And I'm just not sure if it's on purpose or not, but it definitely like gives me those like those vibes, but instead of being grim, like because like things like Running Man and stuff is like the future sucks, and here's a game show to like in the future, those shitty people in the future.
Yeah.
Like there's a timber of judgment over the whole affair from our perspective, where this is like, man, it's the finals is sweet. Come play the finals. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it?
Well, I think it's really smart too, because okay, so one of the rewards in the battle pass is a gun that is covered in diamonds.
Yeah, they have a whole
if
set
they
of
gave
stuff,
you that in Call of Duty, you'd be like, the frick is this, man? Like, what are we doing? Because Call of Duty presents itself in a very different way than what the finals is presenting. Here, there's a level of obnoxious excess that they seem to be like celebrating.
Yeah.
So like gold is extraordinarily valuable. Like everything's golden, and like people erupt into gold coins, and like this person's a better person because they have gold on them. Like it's very obnoxious and extravagant. And I think it leans into that, like Bo was saying, like, you feel like you're almost in a dystopia, but these people are celebrated because look at them. Oh, it's a gun of diamonds. Like they're classy individuals. They're dressing up like Elvis and killer ballerinas and stuff like that. And you're just like, all right, man, like go for it. Like I think
Yeah,
it kind of all fits a narrative that you kind of lean into. And again, like a diamond gun, I wouldn't care about in most other games. For whatever reason in this game, I do get interested in that because I feel like it's part of the world building almost.
Yeah. It's to me it's like Hunger Games ish. It's a little bit of world building. They're just trying to say outside of these borders, it's probably a real shit show. And this is how, we're back to gladiatorial combat to entertain the minions. That's where society is. Like they're clearly trying to build an environment that feels that way. So Bo, I think it's on
got
purpose.
the Elvis. He just posted it. Bo's got the Elvis.
I got the Elvis outfit, and it's my Japanese salary man who goes out to do karaoke in his Elvis outfit, cowboy
look at
boots
this
and
guy.
cowboy hat.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love my character so much.
There you go, chat. Look at that.
And I can't wait for the wedding dress because I'm going to give it to my heavy, and my heavy's going to go marauding around in a wedding dress. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I just think this is them leaning into the dystopic
and
idea.
That is the all diamond gun. You can't see it really well, but it's like that's the all diamond gun.
Yeah, in the list they call it the diamond pistol and the diamond rifle. It's got 2 diamonds in every description, which is a little bit weird.
Just all the diamonds.
That's cool. So yeah, more on that as we play more of it, but that game's rad and it's free to play. So I think it's on consoles as well. Yeah. I don't actually know if it is. Yeah, I know it is because they do crossplay as well. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
All right, there's that. Let's talk about. There's like 2 of you that need to maybe go pee or something. World of Warcraft Season of Discovery. All right, everyone, calm down. A little more WoW talk isn't going to kill you. These 2 played a ton of it. I played none of it. How is Season of Discovery? Has it made you, John, decide that Final Fantasy 14 can take a hike and I'm never playing that game again?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait, let's
come on, let's not be.
Yeah, we don't want to be crazy here.
Silly.
This is crazy.
No, I'm having a great time with it. I feel like the perfect in between you and Bo. Bo has, even before Season of Discovery, he's been like, why would you bother with retail? Like, WoW, a hardcore classic is kind of perfect. It's kind of where it's at. You're like, I like all these things that they've added over the years. I appreciate it. I want to stick with it. Like, I never left WoW, so it has evolved into this, and I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
And I've kind of found myself in the middle, and Season of Discovery has reinforced that because kind of my take on Season of Discovery is this. They are doing things in Season of Discovery that is cooler than anything they are doing in any other version of WoW.
Or have done? Like you saying first time here? Like first time, best time they've ever done
like
a
it's
thing?
On par with some of their better ideas because the conceit of it involves runes. And for those that don't know, here's basically what it is. Like while you are questing, you're in essentially vanilla / classic WoW as you know it, but you will start to notice that things are not exactly the same. This is the discovery. The first thing that I noticed that seemed really out of place, enough so that I saw a giant pumpkin. I went, I don't remember seeing and it was listed as like a strange pumpkin. And I was like, what is that? That was definitely not in WoW before. For sure. And I could target it and I could kill it and I killed it and nothing happened. Because I didn't read the tooltip, which would have given me a clue. But I was like, all right, well, it's a weird pumpkin. But basically, there are things that happen, and they are all tied to whatever class you pick. And this is the part where I say, like, this is WoW doing what I feel like WoW only ever really did with Legion, and they did it so well, and I have missed it, and they need to keep this in mind. They are leaning into class fantasy, because what I didn't read on that pumpkin was that it is described as this is a creature that's been polymorphed. And if you are a mage, eventually you get a spell called Dispel Magic.
Right.
Which means you can dispel the polymorph on that pumpkin. Only a mage can do this. And if you do that, you will unlock a rune. And what runes in Season of Discovery is they are attachments for certain pieces of gear that give you an ability that is similar, if not directly pulled from later iterations of WoW. And it modifies your character significantly. This is why when people talk about Season of Discovery and the ability for rogues to tank, this is why it's possible. There's a rune that gives them a finisher that gives them insane evasion, which essentially makes them very tanky. And so they kind of lean into the class fantasy. So rogue runes are typically gotten from putting maps together, pickpocketing enemies, unlocking chests, exploring the map, things like that. Whereas mages typically focus on, doing magical stuff. Warlocks involve collecting things to do a demonic summoning and things along that nature. So that's all leaning in to the class fantasy. And then it ties into making your class cooler and more unique and adding a level of customization to that class. All around a game that has been out for a very long time and we're all incredibly familiar with. So, in addition to all of that, it's also like this is all very familiar, but then oops, I've stumbled onto something that's totally different, which is also exciting. So, just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on it, like there are still things about classic that I'm like, I'm so glad we're away from this.
Yeah.
Like rogues, when you sap somebody, you knock them out so they can't see you, it unstealths you. That's how it worked in classic.
Yeah.
I nearly got killed doing my first sapping because I forgot that was a dumb way that ability worked back in the day, and it was really weird to me. I got a sword instead of a dagger to use. I have to go kill a bunch of low-level things to get my sword skill up because I don't have it by default. In fact, I didn't have it at first. I had to go to a weapon master in the Undercity to learn how to use a sword to begin with. There have been some great quality of life things that have happened in WoW. I do not think that vanilla WoW is perfect. I think some things that have happened since are good. But Season of Discovery is definitely giving me something that I haven't experienced. It's giving me that peace when I heard that they were doing classic WoW servers and I went, yeah, but why do I want to go back? This is why I want to go back. It is really smart. It's really brilliant. It's really fun. And a lower level cap means, at least for right now, because it's going to progress and move forward, I don't feel like, oh, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'm nearly level capped, and it's not like I've been investing an insane amount of time into it. So I'm having a blast with it. I think it's really cool. I don't know where they go from here, but I would also love to see Retail WoW learn a thing or two from this, because leaning into class fantasy, it doesn't happen very often in World of Warcraft, and every time they've done it, it's been amazing for the players and for the game. So
glad you brought up Legion in that context, because that was something Legion did really well, and it felt like a sea change. It felt like that was the moment they went, we need more class. I know it was, because I managed an interview a panel that happened at Blizzard that year, or the following after the game came out. And they were going on and on and on after almost every question. It was always about, well, we're really leaning into the silhouette. So we're talking about the look of the class, and we're really leaning into the fantasy of the class. And we've lost our way a little bit, so we really want to bring that back around. It's like they had it all in hand, and then the very next expansion, they just forgot. That was a weird thing.
Yeah.
Looking back on it.
I mean, I know it's a lot of work, but I think if you want to know one of the coolest moments for me, and granted, this is a very personal moment in the history of Retail WoW. I don't remember the dungeon. It was in one of those Magic Elf City dungeons. Someone else who played and knows all that will know it. But I remember doing this dungeon run and fighting a boss around a fountain. And in the middle of the fight, the boss runs over. We got the boss low on health very quickly. And in the middle of the fight, the boss runs over and grabs a potion and drinks it and restores their health and gets a big buff. And we ended up wiping because we also pulled a bunch of extra mobs that were in the area. And just even though WoW does not have a history of this, I said, guys, I'm gonna stealth over and look at that potion because I could see it on the fountain.
Yeah.
And I stealthed over to the potion and I right clicked it. And as a rogue, it said, do you want to poison this vial? And I went, of course I do.
You're a rogue.
And
of course you do.
then yeah. And then we went in, did the boss. Boss goes over to drink the vial to get a power up in the middle of the fight, dies instantly.
Oh wow.
That made me as a rogue feel like the coolest, like I made the right choice as a class, right? And apparently that dungeon was full of things like that. I feel like these moments in the game are the best things that Blizzard ever does with the game. Like it feels so good to do that. And Season of Discovery leans into that not in a huge way. It's not Legion, but enough to where you feel invested in your class maybe more than you would have been.
It's like a D&D thing that would happen. Take a whole boss down because a rogue was smart enough to poison something.
Yeah.
Like that's D&D. I love that. That's really great. Bo, thoughts, feelings? How's it going in there for you?
Well, I think pretty much the one sort of aspect about SOD is that it's very limited. It does go to level 25. So, I've hit cap last week. We rated. Did we talk? I wonder, had we rated by last? I guess we did the live coverage, so we didn't.
We haven't
really
talked
talk
about
it.
Season of Discovery at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. So I made World of Warcraft my Saturday thing. What ended up happening was it became my daily thing. So I've been, even if it isn't all day, I'm still logging in. Even if I'm doing something else, like even yesterday, I was doing there's the Ashenvale PvP, which the Horde apparently always loses at. So I just stay logged in to soak up the rep, so I can get gear for raid. But I'm playing the finals, right? I just tab over every now and then, see how it's going, so I can put in my minimal effort to get some rep. But I've been playing a lot actually, and the leveling. I got raid ready, and we've raided. There's a 3-day raid lockout, so we've raided twice this week. Last Saturday on the core community stream that I've been doing for WoW. On Saturdays, we got 5 We got 5 bosses of 7 down. It's almost kind of hilarious because let's say the game launched and it's like it's got a level 25 raid. It would not launch with a raid of this difficulty because the idea is the game introduces you to mechanics and gets progressively difficult as the levels increase. And this thing is probably not the hardest. I don't raid a lot. I'm sure people would say it's not the hardest raid in the world, but it is still pretty challenging. Just the sheer amount of mechanics on every boss. It's kind of hilarious. But we've run 2 raids. I also did one on Tuesday. It was supposed to be a once a week thing, but here I am raiding again on Tuesday. And we got 5 bosses down, and I got a sweet little blade that never existed in vanilla WoW called the Fathom Blade, and it shoots a cone of cold out when I attack with it. Sometimes.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's like a sweet 2-hander that looks like a katana, but like made out of, I guess like water elemental backbone or something. I don't know what it's weird looking.
Yeah.
But it's been fun, and like in terms of raid experience, I'm usually the quiet person. It's just like, okay, what do I do? All right, great. But now I've had to take a leadership role. Although I will say, I'll just shout out Centrifuge, who's there's always that person in the raid who's like, you do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this, and that, like that. He's been that person, and that's kind of nice to have on the team, honestly. Yeah, no, it's we got to get those last 2 bosses down. So hopefully this Saturday on the core community stream, we'll field a team and can get those last 2 down because it's hilariously tough. Like the Kelris you have to cancel his mind blast. Then you have to interrupt one of his really bad chains things. That does a lot of damage. Meanwhile, he sleeps 2 party members, and then they go into another dimension and have to do a different zone and kill a bunch of dudes to make a portal appear and then come back, and then he'll just do it again to the next 2. And then he shoots pollution all over the ground and makes the place smaller. And then at 35, nothing's interruptible anymore, and you just gotta like DPS check them like down. Like, you just gotta burn them down as quickly as possible. We just haven't been able to do it, but I'm hoping we do it tomorrow.
All right.
It's kind of neat to rate it to level 25. It's just like you kind of just get to it. There's not a lot of trash in the raid either, which is pretty nice. So, although one boss is just trash, like it's a gauntlet, so you got to fight trash the whole way up. And I don't mind that, except that they're murlocs, and the murlocs keep spawning, and I mainly just want the murlocs dead because the noise they make is really like, it's just like there's just like 100 murlocs on the screen. It's super annoying.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good time. Like, I'm sure retail is good too. This isn't an either or. It's just like I've already been I put more time into this than I expected I would. I'm pretty much think I'm out on hardcore WoW at this point. I think I've played enough vanilla now that like the idea of going back and playing it, but I only have one life, is now really unappealing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just like,
I wondered about that. Yeah.
A part of me is like, I'm going to enjoy this season of Discovery. I'm kind of in. I think there's people in our community who like it, who are served by that, even if it isn't for everybody. Some listeners who have let us know. We're aware. And I play other games, which we'll talk about, today too. But I think I'm going to be like sated. Like, after I eat this meal, like, I don't really need to. I'm not really interested in a third season unless it's Season of Convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season of Convenience.
If I do get back to playing more WoW, it'll be like probably retail. But I think I'm in on Season of Discovery. It is fun and neat and all that. I really enjoy it.
I do. When John said something I can't get out of my head, which is, I hope some of the lessons they learn here they take to retail. I really hope that that's true, because some of this stuff sounds amazing, the way you described it. But then,
not for Warrior. Don't take anything for Warrior. Do more exciting things than what they've done. I don't know why I picked the worst class to play in Season of Discovery. But
what's wrong with Warrior? Why is Warrior
Warriors
bad?
are late bloomers, and you can only make it to level 25. So, you might, by the end of Season of Discovery, assuming you stick with it, like, you might feel very differently by the end.
Yeah.
Nothing is like that exciting. Like, it's like, oh, Warlock, be a tank. Woohoo, turn into a demon man. Rogue, teleport, and have a lot of fun. Mages, now you can heal and shit too. Warriors, I don't know, just attack a little faster. All right, pick one of those varieties. Oh, here's Victory Rush. That's just an ability from retail. There, you get it now. Wow. You can use Thunderclap in defensive stance. That should just be a permanent fix. AoE threat is great. Why is this a rune? Why? Like, this should just be how the game works.
Maybe the next one will be called the Season of the Warrior's Way or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then the Warrior OP.
I'm not playing unless it's Season of Convenience. I want flight pass in every town, teleport portals in every town, 100% drop rate on all quests. That's the one thing I'm hating about Season of Discovery, is that some of it truly is a mother frickin' slog, and I'm like, why am I doing this in 2023? Like, this, I'm having a good time until it's, here, go find Ghost Howl. Who knows how long he spawns? He patterns around in like a bunch of different places, and people randomly kill him, and it's like hours just to hunt this stupid thing. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, why am I doing this?
I don't like that.
I mean, like, there's definitely an efficiency that, like, like the quest, it's like, hey, we want you to go kill some harpies. It's like, all right, I'll go kill harpies. Okay, is like a 10-minute run out, because you can't get them out yet. It's a 10-minute run out, kill some harpies for a while, come back. All right, now there's more harpies out there we'd like you to kill. 10-minute run out, kill those types of harpies, 10-minute run back. All right, now you're going to kill special harpies. They're going to drop something. 10-minute run out, abysmal drop rate, kill them, 10-minute run back. All right, now there's one boss harpy out there we want you to kill. 10-minute run out, 10-minute run back. It's just like there is a lot of things, like, again, it's the game. We were 100% fine with it in the day. Things have gotten cleaned up. Obviously, the tastes have changed. Our time has changed.
Sure.
Like, a lot of this comes from the fact I probably didn't even notice that was a problem when I played it the first time, because who cares? I'm on summer vacation from school. I have no responsibilities. I don't have to work until tonight, and that's for 4 hours of my day, and then I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. Like, all that kind of business when I played originally. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But I do think that the game has evolved in some good ways. That's the part that's hard. Is I feel like if you took 100 WoW players, either current or former, and you said, okay, well, what quality of life things is acceptable to put in classic and what isn't, you would get 100 different answers. Like, I don't think you get a universal list of like, these are the good things, these are the bad things. And I think that's the hardest part that they're going to have to figure out is if they are going to incorporate some future elements of the game, which ones do you take, which ones don't you take? Because this is season of discovery, but you still have a lot of people that are like, we want to see classic plus, this sort of mythological continuation of classic. And how do you evolve that? And how do you know what is right? And how do you know what is wrong? That's a hard question. And like I said, everybody's going to have, I think, a different opinion on what that answer should be.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see this evolve. So we'll see what they do next. I'm sure this is a big.
I hope when they raise the level cap and give new warrior runes, I hope there's like a hunter build, like a hunter warrior.
Yeah.
Because you can use guns in vanilla, and I'm like, what if all my abilities were usable but ranged? That would be amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah, I forgot.
Or
I always
just-
forget warriors could use. I mean, the gun was mostly used for pulling, is my memory.
It's pulling. I mean, I was LOS pulling. I'm like, like this when I'm doing Wailing Caverns, it's like I'm going to LOS the ranged mobs and use my shotgun and pull them.
Yeah,
I missed that about retail.
Yeah, that was a fun little aspect. All right, well, let's move on from World of Warcraft to something chore-corey and dumb. Not really dumb. It's actually very good, and I'm very excited about it. But I played House Flipper 2. All right, and you might say,
there's already a sequel?
I'm glad that you played this, Scott, because I saw it.
Yeah.
And in my heart, as somebody who actually is with you 100% on House Flipper 1 being awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, House Flipper 2, this is exciting. And I thought about getting it. And I opened it up and I saw the kinds of things they were doing in like the little preview video. And I was like, did they ruin House Flipper? I immediately became extraordinarily concerned.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in what you have to say because I saw it and I went, oh no, they ruined House Flipper.
Okay. So that's interesting. There are some people who, well, let me tell you the main differences. House Flipper came out in like 2017 or 18, and it's been a nice long run for that game, and they got tons of DLC, so it always felt like it was, something fresh was always coming out for House Flipper. And I think it deserves the title of maybe best chore core game out there because it just the way it was supported, its loop was already really strong. It looked good. Like they just got a lot of the checkboxes right with that game. And House Flipper was about flipping houses, but it was also about renovating, cleaning, making the place presentable, reselling a house, buying another house, just doing random jobs for people around the town, that sort of thing. And it did a good job of doing that. But it also kind of got, to some players' taste, mine included, a little bit into the minutia when it came to some aspects. So, for example, if you were going to put a new radiator into a home, it would not only make you buy the radiator, but it would make you then get down on your knees and put all the screws in. This game got rid of that entirely. You can still get the heater, but you just place it on the wall and you're done. You might call that a quality of life improvement or a convenience improvement. I think that's what they're aiming for there. Some people have said, well, I like the fiddliness of it. I want to get down on my knees and do some strange work on a sink, not just put the sink in. That sounded terrible the way I said it. But
yeah, it's a non sequitur. Sometimes I want to get down on my knees and do some strange
it's a little
work.
bit, it's a weird way to put it. But basically, they liked the detail of that, even though it was not the most realistic either. It just was extra work to do. And I was fine with it. It didn't bother me necessarily. But they've eliminated that. Instead, they put way more emphasis on getting the space right. They've really vastly improved the tools and the tool set. So cleaning walls, cleaning floors, all that sort of thing. So much cooler, so much more fun to do. So it looks better. That's the other thing, is that it's got a graphical overhaul going on. Some people don't like it because it does lean a little stylistic. Not much though. I don't.
Oh,
That complaint's one that I
was
don't
House Flipper
understand.
was realistic to begin with? I guess it
Not
looked.
realistic. Visually, maybe a little bit. Like they leaned into it looking more. I don't know. To me, it always felt like Unreal Engine library placeholder graphics in the first one.
Right.
Whereas this one feels more like, oh no, this is by design, and I can feel I feel the artistry of it more. So I actually kind of really like those changes, and they've also made it more detailed. So there's more variation in the kind of stains you got to clean up and the kind of trash that's everywhere. It isn't just reusing the same pizza box over and over and over.
Why did you laugh about the stains?
I don't know,
Was it
because I
funny?
realize as I'm describing this stuff all sounds insane unless you like these games. Like, you know what I mean? Like the stain variation is really
We added
Yeah.
more stain types.
But it makes it like, it's not like actually doing the work, which is its own unpleasantness, or the labor part is not everyone's favorite.
yeah, they
right?
gamify it exactly,
Yeah.
and they do it in such a. That's what's great about House Flipper. They've made the best version of gamifying work, in my opinion. There's lots of other games like it that try. I think they did the best balance of this is supposed to be fun, not work, but also you're having fun working. Like it's kind of a weird combination of things.
And in a way, there's an argument to be made that it's creative visualization for when you actually do it. Like, if you
Right.
dream about shooting basketballs, you're better at playing basketball and stuff like that. Like, there's a, maybe you're not ready to quite do renovations or do this kind of thing, but you still think about it, and it's something you can do to help inspire you.
Yeah, it's the kind of
For when you're gonna do
it does
it.
a really
So,
good balancing act of those things without feeling like too much work, without feeling like too much of a game. It's like a good combo. I really like those changes, but the emphasis has definitely changed from get fiddly to how good of a decorator are you. Now you can still go into a house and their requirements are whole new bedroom set, the kitchen needs new counters, and make sure to replace the fridge and the oven. That can all still be the case on the quests you have to do, but you can get as good at that as you want or as bad as you want at that. It won't really matter. In other words, I can just fill a kitchen with kitchen stuff they're asking for and not worry about how it looks. Like I can put a fridge in the middle of the freaking carpet. Who cares? It will count toward my successful goal. That was true of the first game too, for the record. But in this case, the things like showers, like toilets, like things that are plumbed or electrical, at least at the stage of the game I'm in, I'm playing the career and I've probably played 5 hours or something. So far, I just don't have to worry about where shit's hooked up. Now, there is an electrician tool that's new that lets me rewire the way electricity is wired through a home, but I haven't used it yet, so I don't know what it's actually for.
Oh, wow. That's kind of interesting.
So that's a weird thing that may be interesting. The person I'm watching play does not know how to use their garbage bags. It's pissing me off. Anyway,
Yeah.
the point is, the variation of the locations is way more than it used to be. Way more detail, way more objects, way more little things to buy and decorate your place with. The quests are still fun. The progress feels great. You're adding perks all the time to your abilities. They got away from like saying you have a tablet in your hand, and when you pull the tablet up, you use the store on the internet and order they don't care about that in this one. The skeuomorphizing is not in this. They're just like, yeah, it's a menu, just pull it up and buy the thing, and here it is. And I like that. I think it's fine to get away from some of those conventions. The other thing they've done is they've added some of the stuff they added later DLC to the first game, which is you can sell existing plant life or move plant life around, or even trees. So if you don't like where a tree is placed, I can go outside and pick that tree up and move it, which is not very realistic, but I like it. So you can replant trees. There's a lot more of that stuff going on in yards and things. Your cleaning tool changes what it is depending on what you're cleaning. So right now it's a rag. If you're on the floor, it might turn into one of those handled brushes. It's not a mop anymore, because it used to be one mop to clean it all. And now it's like, no, it's contextual. Depending on what you're cleaning or doing, the tool is going to visually change.
Got to need the right tool for the job.
Right tool for the right job, exactly. Controller works great on Steam Deck, works great on mouse and keyboard. It's launched as a Steam Deck ready thing. I was number 2 in top streamed games on Twitch yesterday, behind Season of Discovery, funny enough. So that was interesting. It's a popular.
Oh, really? So yeah.
It's a popular franchise. It does well. So I wouldn't, I was kind of expecting it to hit and whatever. The biggest complaint seemed to be people don't like change. So this game is a little different approach to the stuff you're used to doing. Why is he holding a garbage bag in front of everything he does? It makes me want to die.
I don't know. Yeah,
He's
We should
literally
show your
killing
gameplay
me.
and not
Yeah,
some randoms gameplay.
I didn't stream it. Is the problem? This was my sick game. I played it on the couch.
I guess my main concern is everything. So we talked about it. I think one of the big strengths to House Flipper 1 was everything felt very like macro as far as what you were doing.
Right.
Like you weren't having to get in and do the nitty gritty on a lot of stuff. It was just like, yeah, we get it. You want to pick up trash, the trash is picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. You want to wash this window. There's a slight mini game, but it's barely anything. You just sort of wave this thing over the window and it's clean. You want to paint a wall? Wall's painted.
Yeah.
And when I watched the preview, it felt like this was more of a micro.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was a lot more like, okay, pick up this. Now pick up this. Now pick up this. Now take this tile off. Now take this tile off. It felt like it had narrowed the focus a little bit, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to try it because you haven't sold me on it, and I'm still concerned. But
well, let me answer your first concern. Your overarching concern that it's less macro and more micro is actually the opposite. Is my experience is it's more macro than micro, and it's not just the fixtures and the electricity and stuff. But if you remember in the first game, anytime you hooked up any shit like that, you had to get in there and do the screw and undo this.
Yeah, but I didn't mind that. I thought that was okay. That didn't ever bother me.
Well, they got rid of that. It's entirely not there.
The closest thing to, like, the only thing that I thought sucked in the first House Flipper was vacuuming up glass or bugs.
That's also better now. So you still have a vacuum, and there are no bugs yet. I haven't seen bugs, but I've seen like just stuff you have to vacuum. It's way better. Even the default without any perks is just a better sucking machine. It just pulls that stuff up quick. So if anything, my experience has been everything's been refined or more macroed than microed. That may or may not answer your concerns.
I don't know. I gotta try it.
You might have to try it. There is a demo.
I look at it and it just I am not like you. I'm not built like you. I can't get into all the chore core.
I understand.
There is a little sweet spot of chore core where it's a little bit of chore and a lot of core that I'm like, oh, I feel good about this.
Yeah.
This feels like we're putting a little more in the chore column. Like there's a little bit more to do, and I don't know that I want that.
See, that's interesting because my experience with the game is there is less chore than there is core, and the demo should be enough to get you a taste, right?
That's true.
So you should try that at the very least. But what I've experienced so far feels like it is more aimed at you than you think, because I think they got rid of the fiddly, they got rid of the stuff that was a nuisance or tedious, and focused more on the stuff that's fun and satisfying, and the rate at which you get perks is faster, or it feels more like just feels like a better rhythm to me. I think this game's a huge improvement overall over the first game, and I already thought the first game was pretty rad. So I think you'd like it. I really do, and I've made a bunch of cash in it. You can sell all kinds of shit.
Got all that
Sometimes
cash.
the sequel's a good time to get in. They've ironed out all the.
Yeah.
They proved the prototype. And if they made they made a second better version of it. I'm looking at the store page now too. It's got a lot of houses in it.
Yeah, there's a lot. The other thing is they have really great integration with mods and stuff, or people making stuff, so you can get all kinds of crazy themed houses and all that sort of thing, and parts and pieces and bits.
Damn, $50 Canadian.
Yeah, I mean it's like a $49 game or something.
Yeah, it's not like an indie game. Like it's approaching full box price, right?
This is only 36 for me.
Yeah, they have a sale price for launch, and that's about the difference between Canada, I guess. 36 and 49 sounds right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, $50 is the sale price. It's $55 normally.
I mean, currently they sell the first game for 25, so asking for about 10 more for the new game sounds about
It's not too bad. Plus, that price is lower than it was when it was new. But
I just bought it. I'm not gonna play the demo. I'll try it.
Well,
John
you got-
Johned himself.
now you have
Yep.
2 hour. You have a 2 hour demo. If you don't like it in
Yeah.
that 2 hours, you can turn it back, send it back.
I don't know. It looks cool, John. I think it's fine. I'm
think,
partially tempted to play. I accept. I have a date with a few other games, so I can't get into this right now.
I thought there is one part of it that bugged me a little bit. I thought the music was annoying, but then I remembered that I also thought the first game's music was annoying, and I turned off the music in the first game, and this had never had it on, so I'd forgotten that the game featured.
I think
kind of
if you're
annoying
doing
music.
house flipper right, you got to turn the radio on. Whenever you're
This
doing
is
renovations,
a
it's
second
radio.
screen experience for sure. At the very
100%.
least, you have Spotify up while this is going. like-
100%. Yes, this is the perfect one for that. Music or some other show on or something. You're watching old Futurama episodes, whatever. This is so good to have as a second screen game, and I think they've done a good job. I also like their track record with supporting that older game so long. Even until recently, they had new DLC for that thing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to support this for a long time. There'll be free stuff. There'll be purchasable DLC. Like I
You
don't know
know
these
who they
guys.
need to partner up with? Although I'm sure it won't happen because the company, I don't know, whatever. They need to partner up with the Sims makers.
Oh, EA would never do that, but yeah,
And but it would be, you know,
they did
I
do
don't
some
know.
cyberpunk stuff with the first game. That was fun. It
it's
wasn't-
like you flip and build these houses, and it's like, why not put Sims in there? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Anyway,
the stuff like the computer room I had to assemble for this guy. One of the quests there is some really rad new stuff in there. This guy had like a big 3-monitor curved monitor setup with an amazing gaming chair, multiple keyboard choices, mouse stuff. Like they just added a ton of that stuff. There's more furniture. There's more whatever. And it's not stuff you have to do. It's stuff you might want to do. And the game also has better physics. So I foresee a bunch of people doing some weird shit with this game. Like, you know, how many rocking chairs can I get on the roof before the whole thing crashes or whatever? Like stuff like that. I'm looking forward to that. And there is a sandbox mode built in, which the first game didn't have at first. And so if you just want to go screw around, that's in there as well. Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
All
I mean,
right.
5 hours
I'm
in,
stoked.
I don't know if that's enough to say I've played enough to call it a winner or not, but I feel pretty good about it so far. I like it a lot. Okay, then I found another thing on sale that this is for all my hey platformer homies. You like a good platformer game from back in the day?
Hello, my fellow teens.
My fellow teens. You
How's
remember
this cutting edge youth genre, the platformer?
the platformer? Do you remember Mario and Sonic and all those sorts of things? Well, good news. I found a game for it's like $5 right now on sale. It's normally 15 from some indie dev. This game's even like a year old and I'd never heard of it. It's called Grapple Dog. Like Grapple Dog, and as you can imagine, there is a dog in it. There's a dog in it who grapples things. All right,
It's Grapple Dog, like Grapple Dog.
yeah, yo.
Grapple dog.
Yo,
That's my
Grapple Dog.
favorite. That's my favorite way you've ever described a game or
Yeah.
a name. ever.
I think this is how it's going to be from now on.
They utter nonsense like it makes complete sense. It's
Yeah.
grapple dog, you know, like
Exactly.
the grapple dog.
They like the Grapple Dog. Anyway, he's this little dog. He's just got a real great personality, and he jumps and bonks on stuff to kill him, and also has a grapple tool that you get very early. And the grapple tool lets you latch onto certain surfaces and do all sorts of platforming magic with the grapple. The game structure, after a brief sort of intro tutorial story thing, basically becomes a Mario overworld, but you're in a boat and you go to an island, and that's a level. And you go in there, and it's a 2D scrolling level, and you get to the end of those, and there's a boss, and you fight a boss, and it kind of rinse and repeat, but very interesting new levels and new bosses every time you finish one. It is delightful, wonderful, funny, cute as hell, wholesome as hell, difficult at times, a breeze in others, and it feels good when it's a breeze, kind of like, I don't know, just good traversal where you're just enjoying the process. Has a very dark beginning, story-wise, I thought anyway. For what it is, it was just like, whoa, holy shit, you're making the stakes kind of high, game. Anyway, it's great.
I'm watching because I'm watching the trailer, and I think usually I watch these things quietly, but you actually owe it to yourself to watch this one with the sound on, because it's also got like sounds like a really SNES-tastic era soundtrack.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, very. Some of the levels sound like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good like some of the old Genesis like side scroller soundtracks. They went nuts with that stuff. The game is I don't know in the high. Actually, it's 100% recent reviews, 91% all time. It's just not a lot of people know about it. And I think that's a shame.
$6.
I know it's so stupid cheap.
It's $18 for me, full price.
Yeah, it's
$6 is like nothing. Why are they selling it?
I know it's just on sale.
Why are they selling it so cheap?
Why are they selling it? What are they doing?
Well, there must be something wrong. No, it's just
the only like weird thing that this is like bringing back into my mind.
What's that?
It has nothing really to do with this game, so I apologize. But like, it reminds me of like 1997.
Oh yeah,
playing games
yeah.
where every game mod was a grappling hook.
It was
mod.
always a grappling.
I don't know if you remember this,
I
but
do,
like the
yeah.
Jedi Knight era of gaming, like around that time,
Mm-hmm.
why was that the most popular thing? Like any game you looked up, it was like, hey, like competing grappling hook mods for almost any first-person shooter or third-person shooter. It was so hot, and now like nobody makes a grappling hook mod. Nobody cares anymore.
No, not
Like-
at all. Yeah. I feel like
It's
grappling.
so weird.
There was a time in the late '90s where that seemed like the future was grappling hooks. What was that? What was that game from Capcom that they tried to remake it? It was called
Bionic Commando.
Bionic Commando. That was the one I always
Yeah.
think of when I think of a grappling hook, at least in a 2D sense. And this has a bit of that. You're not constantly using it though. You use it a bunch, but you don't use it all the time. And there's some really interesting puzzles.
Well, it
on
looks
that
like
have
you
to do
can
with.
jump in this, right? Wasn't that true in Bionic Commando? That was the only way you could.
It was the only
like,
way you could
traverse
traverse.
up?
Yes, there was no jumping. And this has got jumping and movement and wall climbing and sliding and wall jumping, kind of Mario style wall jumping. And
I
just
figured out
really
why it's on sale,
Oh yeah.
because the sequel's coming.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's our grapple dogs with a plural. You got a lady dog with you.
Ooh,
Like
lady
aliens.
dog.
Cosmic canines.
I'm in.
Anyways, I bought it, Scott.
Good.
I mean,
There you go. Scott's just selling us on game after game.
it's $5. I was like,
I know, so
I'll buy
cheap.
that for $5.
Tune in next
knows?
week where Bo and I talk about Scott's games from this week.
Grapple dog.
I don't know. It looks badass. Like, there's something.
I know there's juice
There's
here.
something about the color palette they've chosen for the game. It looks like it plays like a standard SNES platformer. The soundtrack really got me.
Yeah,
Honestly.
soundtrack's rocking. It's just this is if you've missed this kind of thing, it will bring back tons of memories. But I think it stands on its own as a really well made platformer. And I play. This is also Steam Deck ready and perfect for that device. And I sat on the
probably should have
couch.
bought it for Switch. Oops.
I played this on that thing for hours and loved every second of it.
Oh, I can backbone it probably.
Yeah, you can probably backbone it. But use a controller on your PC as well. It's just a
Steam Link backbone, like on my phone. But like I think I might try to do that. Actually.
Yeah, you should try and see what happens. But it's cool. I would recommend it if any of these sounded interesting. It's hidden areas and it's all the shit you used to love, and it's great. I like it. Grapple Dog once
All right.
again
Please,
is currently
you
on
have more
sale.
games to share. I don't want to buy anything else.
I have one more thing, and you're not going to like this because I'm calling this like look out House Flipper 2. My favorite Shorecore game of the year might be. I mean, I'm still early, so I haven't made a determination here.
Game of the year 2024, right here.
That's right.
Settle in.
That's right. Get ready for. You've heard of Elf on a Shelf. Have you heard? No. This is called Mars First Logistics.
Oh my
Jesus.
god!
And
So that title is
My
awesome.
goodness.
I know it's a really weird name. The style of this game. You guys know who the French artist Mobius was? Familiar with his work?
No, but I'm looking at the art and it's familiar, so maybe I'm familiar with it, but not the name.
He inspired a ton of different art over the years. He did comics as well. Did a lot of issues of heavy metal, and it was a big deal. He died in 2012 or something, but highly influential artist. And this is this is straight up aping his vibe, but I think in a really wonderful way. So it's set on Mars. You control a rover You're not even a person. You're just a rover. All right, like a Mars rover. And you'll go to a point on this map. It's all very physics-based. So you're driving around this rover. Play this on my PC as well as my Steam Deck. Ran great on both. And it'll say, oh, there's a quest over here. So you'll do like an open world style drive over there, see what's up. And that quest will be, you need to get this box of shit from here to this other station on the surface. And you realize, oh, my drone or my rover is not equipped to do this. I need stuff this rover doesn't do. So you go into this quick build mode, which sounds complicated. It's not. It's very simple. And in there, you will have some blueprints for some pre-builds, or you can build your own shit like Lego style. And then your job is to figure out how to accomplish these goals with these new builds and these new parts that you unlock as you go along in the game. And so right now I got to pick up this, in this video you're seeing, you got to pick up this green watering can. And so we use this little hook that has an automated, not automated, but you can control the little rotor that makes it move up and down. You stick it through there and you take it to its destination. And then that place finishes building whatever it's making. And it says, hey, we got some other quests for you. And then you go off and you find out, oh, another one's a big blue steel beam. I got to figure out how to get this over this hill. This is not going to work. So you go into build mode and you go, all right, if I do 2 of these hooks and expand this out a little bit, I'll bet I could move this whole thing. And you come up with the most janky ass shit ways of moving stuff around that I am sure that's the fun of the game is there's like 20 ways to do it. And I am positive I'm using like the dumbest way possible because this isn't really my skill set, but it's so much fun trying to figure out how to configure my rover. How to configure my rover to do it.
I heard the title and I was like, nope. I will say I have only wish listed this.
Okay.
But I think this game looks extraordinarily cool.
It is very, very cool.
Like, you're not wrong. It's got a title that puts me to sleep.
Yeah, the title's terrible, but it also kind of works because it takes...
No, I mean, it's great for what it is.
It's tongue-in-cheek. It's like, you know, there's these little spacemen.
I think it's a great title.
It works once you know what the game is. But here's the thing. Building stuff and making that stuff work, they're in the tutorial phase, so you're getting a lot of pop-ups here. But it's really easy, really simple to put them together. When you get successful deliveries, you get cash or this currency that lets you buy more parts.
It's like Death Stranding, but interesting.
But interesting, yeah, kind of. That's a funny way of putting it.
Oh, man.
You're going to get some hate mail for
All
that.
right, you hear that,
doesn't
Scott?
take some weird developer to be like, oh, you know.
We can say whatever we want for the rest of the show.
Whatever we want.
It's all signed up for tank for this run, so good.
It's all on the table. But here's the funny thing. Like, he just got to a place where he thought, well, I've got this hook. This is no problem. I'll just grab that box. But the box is up on some scaffolding, and he's not tall enough to get it. So what does he got to do? He's got to extend his arm. But you can't just do that and expect the weight differential to still work. Your center of gravity changes. So there's some of that. It's not like Kerbal Space Program level of fiddly diddly, but it's like enough that, like when you were a kid and you were working with like Lincoln Logs or erector sets or any of those cool things we had, or even just Lego, and you were building your own thing, you had to get creative. And it reminds me, even now as an adult, I'm like, well, I got to fish this out of the window. Well, how am I going to do it with this rake? And then you got to attach things to the rake and that kind of thing. It's the game, kind of. I got so hooked on this that I walked away from it going, okay, well, this is my new favorite thing. I freaking love this. It's amazing. Oh, this guy did a creative way of doing this, and I'm not sure it's going to work for him.
I'm very much in danger of just pushing the buy button on this.
It's really cool.
I love the look. Like, that's the other thing is like, this is a game that if it didn't look like this, it would be a lot easier for me to ignore.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome in addition to having a really cool, like,
it looks like it reminds me of like a Lego instruction, like
there you
instruction booklets, except it's come to life. Like, it has that feel to it.
You're not wrong about that comparison. I think that's actually a great way of putting it. I'm going to put on our Discord some Mobius art. I can put that part to bed so you know what I was talking about.
All right, I'm gonna buy it.
It's cool though, and it's just charming as hell, overwhelmingly positive. reviews.
Yeah.
I think it deserves it. I love the screw up, try again thing that it's bringing, and I usually don't like that. I find that kind of frustrating in some games, but this game is weird. It's just like, oh, I couldn't quite reach it. Okay, what if I made a larger base and put 2 extra wheels on the front? Oh, I can't afford those yet, so I'm going to go do a lower end quest to earn those parts. Here's the good news. If you don't want to earn your way up through it, because I think it's got good progression, there is a creative mode where you still have to do all the jobs, but you have all the parts in the world to work with. And there's still fun to have with that. It doesn't feel like cheating. It just feels like, I don't know. It's just like, well, I have all the parts. I don't need to buy parts. You still have to be creative about how you're going to put them together and make it work. It doesn't fix any of that problem for you. How I got this giant steel beam up a hill, I'll never show anyone because I'm embarrassed, but it worked.
You know what I mean? A very streamable game, though.
Oh yeah, I think very streamable.
This seems
all right. Well, I bought it. It's been purchased.
Very pleased with it.
I don't know why I buy all these games though. It's like, oh, when am I going to play it? I'm playing WoW Season of Discovery. You know?
I don't even know why I sell so hard on these. I don't know. They tweak a part of my brain that I.
No, this looks good. It looks like, it's the right kind of fun. Like, I know what it's also, I like sciencey stuff too. It's not, what is it? Like Duck on Toast or whatever. Yeah. Those kind of games, like, they don't really appeal to me. Or whatever, like Toast Gun.
I am bread.
Bread. I am bread.
Like I am bread is one of those, and there's a duck. Isn't there a duck game like this too, or something like that's
Goose Game, Untitled Goose Game. That the one you're thinking?
Like when it's that stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't need to see this. But when it's like science stuff, then I'm like, ooh, it looks like a science kit game.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm just like, like it's
but not in a boring like you don't want that when you're a kid kind of way. It's more like a.
No, you know what it is? It's that not Lego, but that like you can build your own weird things out of metal and things that snap together. I used to have them a lot when I was a kid. Like it just looks like that.
Sets.
Yeah, erector sets. I loved erector sets when I was that age.
I don't know. I'm digging the vibes just like.
And what's crazy is this guy's really using such a different plan than I did. And now I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't think of what he's doing because I think this is going to work for him. Yeah, he's totally getting it off. Oh, that bastard. Yeah, see, I didn't do as smart as he did, but now he's going to have trouble getting it out of here. And I had a way better plan for that. And going in and reconstructing and changing, moving a part out, copying a whole assembly of like a big automated arm, you can copy that assembly out. It basically puts it in a clipboard, so you can cut it, puts it in a clipboard,
you blueprint things.
Then you can do other shit, and then come back and paste that chunk you don't want to go meticulously rebuild. So there's some nice quality of life stuff in there. The game's rad. It is called where is it? Mars First Logistics.
Yeah,
and
Mars must come first. It's got an Expanse tie-in. Yeah. That's what the Martians are always saying. Mars has to come, or no, actually the Earth people say. Avasarala says Earth always comes first.
Yeah.
To Mars people, they got to come first, right?
Yeah,
Mars has to come first.
They got to believe in themselves, I figure.
Yeah. So I still like it.
It's really neat. And when you think you've solved it and you're racing across the desert to take it somewhere and it all crashes out in the dunes somewhere, you might think that's annoying. For some reason, it's invigorating because you're like, well, got to do a plan B. And you reset your thing right there. It's not like you're going to have to go redo the whole run. And new quests pop up all the time. You go and expand the size of the map by going to these little towers that then expand your visibility. It's cool, man.
Can you accidentally murder the little dudes in there with your creation?
I tried. They hover when you get in their way, and they basically hover out of your way when you walk. Okay. It's actually really cute.
You don't have a razor blade that spins around in order to propel your thing and then accidentally. I feel like this game needs that, like cute little deaths of the Martians.
Well, maybe they do, and I just haven't. Maybe I haven't thought of it, but or figured it out how. But it's always surprising me. So. It's a neat little game. Go check it out, everybody. And then I played nothing really to say much on these other things, but I played a little more Baldur's Gate 3 on this new reroll. I played more Guild Wars 2. And I played some Mark of the Ninja remastered again for some reason. Just because I love that game so much. I wish they'd do a new one, but I don't think it's going to happen. John, let's go to Fortnite for a discussion about what the hell's going on over there because it feels like insanity happened. one day.
Fortnite really decided to become a platform over the past couple weeks and not just be a battle royale anymore. So they released several new games slash experiences, depending on how you want to define it. The first was Lego Fortnite, which is sort of a survival game. It's been compared to Valheim. It's been compared to Minecraft, kind of in that territory, but all with a Lego aesthetic and kind of wrapping around it. That is probably of what I played, the one that feels the most like an actual game. It is a full-on mode with things to build, things you can, gather, lots of like hidden mysteries and strategy. Like it feels very complete. It doesn't feel like somebody made a quick little dumb mod. They have put serious work into this, even to the degree of uh, most of the Fortnite, like I believe if it's Epic based, all of the Fortnite characters and skins that you have, there's a Lego version of it.
Right.
Now, once you start getting into like other properties, not quite. So
Is that a cake head?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
he's
pancakes.
he's a pancake man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got
Is that
pancakes
your
for a head.
pancake man?
Yeah.
No, this is
Oh.
some other gameplay.
Some other
here.
schmo. Yeah.
I was just
I did
curious why you
stream
would-
it, but I didn't send anything to Scott. But
I was just okay. I thought maybe you picked that skin. And I was like, what was? Anyways, whatever.
no, it's not bad. Be a pancake man.
Yeah. I like
But
pancakes.
anyway, for your license things, it's kind of hit and miss. So like when I do the battle royale right now, I've been running around as Megatron. There is no Lego Megatron, unfortunately.
But there are some, right? Like some Batman.
There are
stuff
some.
and-
So
yeah.
like they just put the Ninja Turtles in Fortnite, and all the Ninja Turtles have Lego skins. The Star Wars stuff and the Marvel stuff seems to have pretty heavy Lego representation as well. Weirdly, not WB, which a lot of the DC stuff was Lego stuff.
Mhm.
They've done the Lego games and all that, but weirdly, like any DC things you have are not Lego-ified. But yeah, a lot of that stuff is, and you run around and you do survival game stuff with a Lego look, but it's legitimately very fun. Like I've spent a lot of time with it now, not an insane amount of time, but a decent amount, and I'm having a really good time with it. Like it is solid. It's not a joke, and that's kind of when I first heard it, I was like, is this a joke? What are they doing? But it's got a lot of mechanics, and you can customize your experience. So it lets you, it doesn't just do do you want to do survival, creative? It lets you actually, when you pick survival, it's like, okay, well, do you want to worry about hunger? Do you want to worry about stamina? Do you want to worry about temperature? What mechanics do you want to have active in survival? And so I've been kind of playing with default settings just to get a feel for it. And it was like today I went to check out a castle and there was a person outside the castle, and I walked up and was like, hey, are you friendly? And they hit me once and it killed me instantly. So there are certainly some challenges to overcome. And you do build up a village and a squad that you can run around with, and lots of ways to modify your health and your ability to fight. So it's a very legitimately cool game mode. And like I mentioned earlier, this has kind of enhanced the value of the Fortnite Battle Pass. So if you're somebody that, maybe played Fortnite the Battle Royale and was like, I just never complete a Battle Pass, you can level up your Battle Pass playing the Lego mode. And as a result, for me, who, I like Fortnite, I play a decent chunk of Fortnite, kind of varies from season to season. This gives me a path where it's like I bought the battle pass and I was like, oh, did I just make a mistake? I'm actually cruising through it because I've been playing these alternate gaming modes and unlocking a lot of stuff from them, not just from the battle royale. And
That
that's
really
made me
surprised
feel
me
good
as
about
I
it.
was tonight years old when I learned this, because you told me, and I didn't know they were sharing the same battle pass. That just seems insane to me that they did that. Not that it's not good for us. It's great for gamers. I just mean, are people at Epic going, oh shit, we just tripled the value of the thing, but we're not slowing it down. We didn't charge more.
Well,
like,
they have found this has also provided them new opportunities to monetize things. So Like, let's also keep in mind that maybe you didn't want a weird looking Ninja Turtle toting a gun skin in Fortnite, but maybe you wanted a Lego Ninja Turtle for your Lego game. Now you can give them money for that. And that kind of leads me to the other mode that I spent time in. So I'll just mention they did add a thing called Rocket Racing, which is a kind of partnership with Rocket League. And it's kind of like a kart-esque shooter. I have heard it is very good. I haven't spent any time in it. I knew we were going to be talking about what we played a lot this week with 2 weeks of stuff. So I kind of saved that for next week. But I did spend some time in their rock band mode. It's not called rock band. They have a different name. I think it's called like main stage or something like that. But it is essentially a rhythm game, again, within the Fortnite engine. And I have spent a lot of time like kind of getting into that. Like it's kind of the one that captured me that I didn't expect would. This one feels less like its own game and more like a mini game currently, but I feel like it could evolve. So it is, for all intents and purposes, a legit rhythm game. You can choose between singer, lead guitar, bass guitar, or drums. They play. There are Fortnite songs in there, but they have a cycling of well-known artists that go through and well-known songs that you get free just day to day. You can also purchase songs. So, Scott, this is where they don't care that they are losing money on the battle pass value.
Yeah.
You can buy songs and have them unlocked so you can play them at any time. And it's basically Rock Band. Now, it's not fully featured. Obviously, they didn't release a bunch of plastic instruments, so you are just playing with your controller or you're playing with a keyboard. I have heard that they have plans to do the instrument thing, but I think that it actually needs to evolve a little more than that before they're ready because like if you choose singer, they don't even show you the lyrics to the song. So you're still just doing key presses along to the, the rhythm of the song. So I think they need to expand it a little bit, but I can see this evolving fully into Rock Band, and it made me realize how much I missed Rock Band as an experience.
Interesting.
Like I played this with my wife, probably the whole family's going to play it at some point, and had a really good time. It's dumb. Once again, all your Fortnite stuff is in it, so I did get to be Megatron holding a giant guitar rocking out on stage. And if it gets to a lull where maybe your instrument isn't being played, like maybe it's a guitar solo and you're the lead singer, the game tells you how long before you have to play notes, and you can do all your Fortnite emotes to dance as your stupid character on stage while you wait for a chance to play the game more.
You know, you just
Like,
reminded me is that they had this Lego had a rock band game. They had a Lego rock band.
oh yeah,
game.
that's right, they did.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
bringing those two worlds together a little bit in a weird way. I mean, obviously you're not doing that.
All coming together.
There's no Lego dudes in this mode though, right? It's separate.
No, you're
Okay.
you're playing as whatever your Fortnite skins are. But of course, they have found a way to skin the instruments so you can get special microphones, special guitars, drums, and all of that. Like they have found a way to get their money, no doubt about it. But in addition to that, it has also added a lot of value to the battle pass. So it kind of goes hand in hand to a degree. But everything I've played has been top quality. Like they let you really focus in on input lag and all of that for the rock band mode. Like you can adjust that whenever you feel like it and calibrate it.
You're not
They
playing
really
with a
put in
guitar
their
though,
work.
right? Or can you play with a guitar controller?
Not, I mean, you could, yes, because they'll let you remap. So if
Okay.
you have a way to hook a guitar to your computer
Hmm.
and it can act as key presses, you can make it work.
Interesting.
But I don't. So I'm just pressing, I think it's D, F, and J, K. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And it's a fun experience. I look forward to seeing how this grows because this made me remember how much I liked playing Rock Band with friends. But this definitely feels like a mini game, whereas the Lego game feels like a game.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I've heard
Lego
I've heard
looks
similar.
like Valheim.
Yeah, then some have compared it to that, like depth wise, that the Lego thing is
Just look. It's
legit.
like the exact collect raspberries. There's some sheep. There's little things you got to kill, and then you build a shelter to put the thing in. Like it's literally Valheim.
You know what's crazy?
I had
though?
somebody make fun of me on stream because they said, "You never played Valheim, did you?" Because I made an assumption about how something worked and died. They're like, "You've clearly never played Valheim."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know. I don't know any of these mechanics. I never have."
That would be given all the time in the world. I'd love to get a server up and play some Valheim with you guys.
Well, here's the funny thing though. I could be wrong, but you know how everybody wants to make a Minecraft killer, and I don't just mean good other, maybe even more adult Valheim-y experiences. Those exist and they're great and they have their audience. But Minecraft is one of the biggest games of all time. Like the install base alone is out of control. It would be hilarious to me if Epic and the Fortnite team were the ones to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like they're taking Legos, which is beloved. Everyone loves Lego. Lego's never even been able to do this on their own. They've tried. They've tried to be the Minecraft killer. They had a game for a while and it sucked and nobody played it. So they canceled. It's no longer a thing you can play. But it would be just funny to me if the ones that pull it off is freaking Fortnite. That comes up with the duplication that everybody decides to play.
I don't think that'll be the case. One of the things about Minecraft that makes it such a niche is the fact that you can write programming languages with its blocks and stuff. Like that is some
you can mod the shit out of it.
Like hipster shit that no corporation's gonna think of putting in their game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Microsoft owns it, but I take your point. Like, but
they bought it that way. Like it's one thing if somebody builds something crazy and then a company buys it and curates it, but like to sit in a boardroom and come up with it, I don't think.
Do we know, John, if this is moddable at all, or can they do any of that stuff? Or is this...
I don't know. I haven't seen anything to that effect. I think it's still early days. I think there's a level of experimental to it.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Again, you can tailor your experience as far as what the mode is, depending on. That part was very nice. It didn't, say like, hey, this is the only way to do an authentic experience is with this. But, it seems like it's just the mode is what the mode is. But also they've really opened up Fortnite in general for users to create experiences. Like it has direct support for Unreal Engine. So you can make your games and experiences in Unreal and bring them into Fortnite. And that's something that apparently a lot of people have been doing. So there's just some crazy stuff in there. And I will say the other thing, this season of Fortnite is pretty decent. There's some stuff I don't like about it, but they have updated the guns, the shooting, and they've updated the movement and traversal. And I think it's the best the game has ever felt.
Yeah, there was some controversy around that because, people don't like change. And so they were trying to say that the original running and animation and stuff was better. But from what I can tell, this looks so much better.
I think it feels better. My wife tends to play more than me. She doesn't like it. She also doesn't like change. Not to throw her too far under the bus, but she doesn't like change. I took a big break and came back to it and went, this feels great. I feel very good about this, especially the shooting. Like traversal and running may be a little iffy at times. I don't feel as sure on that, but the shooting feels much better to me. They've added bullet drop to most of the guns, which Fortnite I don't think had on all their guns before. And in general, I think it just feels solid. Like I think that there are things about the season that aren't great. They've added a major component of it is a lot of fortified bases with NPCs that shoot at you. So you're just running through towns and you'll get attacked more likely by the computer. I don't think that's particularly fun. But overall, it's a better season than what they had before OG came out, and I'm having more fun with it than I did with OG. So
nice.
It's doing good. Like I was not ready to spend as much time in Fortnite these past couple weeks as I have, and I'm genuinely shocked that they've gotten me this interested.
I just have a weird feeling that this is a play. Whether it succeeds or not, I don't know. But this is a play by Epic to parlay that gigantic Fortnite audience into a game ecosystem that they've not been able to do by trying to duplicate Steam with the Epic Store. That didn't work. I think this is their chance to try to do something like that. You put out a racing game, a fully fleshed out survivor builder game with the Lego name on it, and a perfectly workable rhythm game, and you just say, yeah, it's all just part of this thing. You're already here, so come enjoy it. I mean, that's kind of a strong play. And I don't know how it's all going to work in the end, but there's also rumor they're bringing Fortnite to Steam. I assume that means, if that's true, that seems crazy, but if it's true, they're bringing all the shit with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it all launches from it. You don't launch a different game. I didn't install Lego Fortnite.
Right. The launcher is
from
Fortnite.
the main menu, I scroll down and I go, do I want to play Lego Fortnite? And if I click that, my character that's on the screen turns into Legos. And if I go back to the Battle Royale, they turn back into their normal selves.
Yeah.
And if I click the racing, they turn into a car. Like you just immediately launch it from the game. It works. It works extraordinarily well. I think the menu system could use a little cleaning up. It's a little, and that could be just me not being used to change, but I think it's a little ugly. But overall, there are a ton of experiences in there that are solid, and not just the stuff by Epic. There's people making really cool stuff in there too. So I'm genuinely shocked how much I like it.
Well, I'm weirdly impressed with this, whatever the hell they're pulling off here. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Any other games this week for you?
Real quick, I'll talk about because I did, we talked about my main ones now. I did try a little of that game Blood West, which is
Gotta get back to that.
kind of roguelike shooter, and I was not ready for that game to be as hard as it is, and I was not ready for that game to be as deep as it is. So I didn't spend a lot of time in it because from the outside it looks like a nostalgia shooter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's got kind of the pixelated graphics. You got a cowboy man, he's got a gun, like, oh, this is going to be great. And the next thing you know, you've only got 6 bullets and zombies kill you in 5 seconds if they see you. So you're like, oh, this is actually going to be really difficult. And there's a lot of depth and like, do you want to add this perk, which causes this? And if you get injured, you have a permanent stat decrease. And like, there's all these mechanics behind it. I think the game could be really cool, but it's definitely a case of I thought I was launching, a nostalgia shooter, and all of a sudden here's this deep like RPG rogue like game, and I was like, I'm not ready for this responsibility right now. I'm gonna close this.
You got to be in the right.
Pretty much what happened.
I have that game as well, and I have to be in the right mood for it. I didn't know they hit full launch on the 5th though, so that's interesting. I wonder what changed. But it's hard. It almost was Souls-like in its difficulty when I played it.
Yeah, it's really tough.
All right.
I also opened up Baldur's Gate 3 because I heard they added a like 6 months later epilogue to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do a new playthrough on Baldur's Gate 3, but I was so curious as to what the epilogue was. I decided to play through and choose all the decisions I made on my original ending where I didn't like the ending, just to see what was different this time. And there wasn't a single difference about the ending in mine, and I didn't get the epilogue, and I went, well, aren't I stupid? So I didn't see anything new, and I had to watch a cutscene that made me mad again.
Well, how do you get the epilogue then if you can't do it in game? How's that even happen?
Okay, so here, hey, everybody, Baldur's Gate spoilers coming at you real quick. I chose an ending where I kill myself.
Where you kill your own character.
Yes.
Okay.
And as a result, I guess I don't get to see what everybody thought.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
If you die, you don't get to see what happens. Some games will let you die and still tell you the story, but not Baldur's Gate 3, not Cyberpunk 2077. Those games, if you kill yourself, you just don't know. And that's it.
And that's more of a spoiler about how John made a decision. Not really. I mean, because
part of it has in Cyberpunk, it's depression and mental illness that takes you down that road. In Baldur's Gate 3, there's like self-sacrificing heroics, and so it kind of sucks to not see the conclusion, right?
Yeah. Maybe obviously you can go see a video or something, but I'm
just gonna say this. Like, look, game is my game of the year. Spoilers for a podcast several weeks from now. I think it's the best game that's been made this year. It's maybe one of the best video games ever made.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a flaw in my logic for deciding the ending that I chose. And yet I feel consistently punished by the game for picking this ending. It's unsatisfying, it's not good, and I know you all busted your ass on this video game, but I need you to tailor an experience specifically for me selfishly and come up with a good, satisfying ending for the choice that I made, because I don't think I was wrong making it.
John, it's
think it
time to
was
start a
fine.
new 200-hour playthrough.
That's
Stop.
right.
Yeah, no.
The longer you
kidding.
delay, the longer you delay.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
By the
So-
way, Carbot has been doing the Lord's work with
Oh, I
Baldur's
love
Gate.
Carbot's videos on Baldur's
his
Gate.
Baldur's
3.
Gate 3 stuff and his Diablo 4 stuff are some of the best work he's ever done. I'm dying every time I see any of that stuff. He's killing it right now.
Yeah. Good
Love that
job.
guy.
Yeah, I've watched them too. It's good. Yeah.
So
The
good.
Baldur's Gate one about killing Karlach cracked me up
Yep.
because that is exactly what I did in that scenario when I went back and they're like, "Hey, you killed her, right?"
Yeah.
While I position everybody in the most tactically sound position. They're like, "All right, we love you."
Yeah.
I had
You're great."
somebody ask me, of all the people making content on the internet, who am I most jealous of? And they thought I was going to talk about somebody who had making a shit ton of money or whatever other reasons. For me, it's Carbot. I'm sure he does well,
Yeah.
but he's in a place creatively. I'd love to be that guy. Would love that. Oh my gosh, he's so good.
I
all right.
have something to say about Baldur's Gate because I started an honor mode playthrough.
Yeah.
I'm just in the beginning, like I'm just barely started, so it was really worth talking about. But honor mode is one save file, like you can't take back decisions. And I did like the hilarious things. I'm like, I love Asterion, I love Neil Newbond, I love the voice acting, and I don't know what possessed me, but I'm playing my character right, and he goes to bite you, and in my head I was like, well, I've done the let him bite a little bit on the first playthrough, sincere reaction. Then I've done the whole let him suck me until I die scenario.
Uh-huh.
And then when you get rezzed, you confront him and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to kill you. And you can like punch him and just be like, I'll never do that again. Like there's a whole dialogue if he kills you, sucking your blood. So I was like, there's an option early on when you catch him sucking your blood where you can stab him with a wooden stake melee attack. And I was like, oh, I didn't pick that option. Let's pick that. And then I succeeded in the roll and insta-killed him, like perma-dead.
He's dead for the whole run.
I was like, oh, and it's I can't reload. I can't save scum. I just fucking offed him like just one shot him. Kapow!
That's
He's
amazing.
dead. No hysteria in this playthrough. And I was like, I was like really sad about that. I was like, why did I do that? I got to be more careful about not losing characters to
It's like
decisions that.
emotional hardcore is what you've done. It's
That's
emotional
how I
hardcore
felt.
mode.
I want him in the party. I didn't really want to kill him. I did what does this decision do? And forgot I was doing honor mode. And well, it's too late now. He's dead forever.
That's
Unless I
amazing.
start over from the beginning.
Love
That's
that.
how I felt about the Dark Urge stuff. I don't know if you have ever experimented with Dark Urge.
I haven't played The Urge yet, no.
Okay, minor spoiler for Dark Urge, and I didn't keep the save, so I don't even know how it ultimately resolves. But there's a part. So the Dark Urge, your character basically struggles with a insatiable desire to murder.
Which I assume is like Bale. You become Bale's chosen or something like that.
So there's a part early on where Gale sticks his hand through a portal, like it's how you meet Gale, and his
Yeah.
hand comes out.
Freaking
And he
Gale.
goes, can somebody offer me a hand? And I love selecting the option where you slap his hand. It makes me laugh every single time that you just go, whack, and you just slap him on the hand. You just hear, ow. Okay, let me be clear. Can you help pull me out of this? And there was an option that was just like, fantasize about tearing the arm off.
Oh my.
And I was like, well, that's not actually violent. Anybody can have dark thoughts. So I did, and then I did it. And I was like, oh no.
Because you
And I
had
was
a dark urge and then you followed through on your dark urge is what you did.
Does he join the party without an arm, like missing an arm?
He seemingly died, but I reloaded, so I don't know where that ultimately goes. explore that at your own interest. But yeah, he seemingly died.
I definitely have to do a D-Urge playthrough. It sounds very fun. It's unclear whether I'm supposed to fight the urge or because I know you can.
I think you can do either.
Or
I think
lean
you can
into
either
the urge.
give into it or fight it. You do what you want.
Yeah.
Honor mode, Dark Urge run.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh, dude.
There you go.
Can you do Dark Urge, Iron mode, Honor mode? Well, no,
Honor mode is Iron Man, basically, what you're thinking of.
Oh, so you
One save. If your whole party dies, it's a wipe.
Gotcha. Okay.
For permadeath. Yeah.
But if you beat honor mode, you get golden dice.
Yeah. But I'm not adding additional difficulties to my honor mode run. I'm perfectly fine trying to survive, which is why it's hilarious that I killed Asterion. I was the most dangerous thing that happened. I was just like,
Your favorite actor in the thing, dead.
I know. I was like, I want Asterion in my party, and I just murdered him. But at least for variety, yeah.
Now you got to spend all your time with Will or freaking.
I'm gonna Minthara. I still haven't fully explored. Minthara's kind of.
I heard they added a way you can get her if you're a good guy now. That was in the patch, so
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to do that then because
in
I rolled a drow this time, and I kind of want to hang out with other drow. She's a drow, right? Am I thinking the right lady?
I kind of want to be a racist.
You know, a fantasy racist. A
They kinda
fantasy
wanna be
racist. I like fantasy racists. I don't like real ones. They're the worst. See,
Well,
World
you
of
picked the
Warcraft.
right race. I think drow are pretty.
No, that's the perfect race. For it. That's great.
Tell me, Bo, about Wartales, which you have apparently picked back up.
Well, I don't have much to say other than I was on my computer yesterday and Steve said, "Hey, Wartales has an expansion out," and I was like, "What? Already?" And I was like, "Well, I keep talking about playing, but don't play."
Yeah.
So guess what, everyone? There's a Wartales expansion. It released yesterday, and I'm still stuck in Luther, and so I didn't play it, even though I played the video game, and I'm now I think. Well, I was about to wrap up that zone when the game crashed, or not crashed, but it was a soft lock where like an NPC took a turn and then wouldn't give me my turn back.
Oh,
And I was in the battle, a 30-minute skirmish, and I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the next patch. So, I logged out. The game is saved. I think I only have like a single save file for that, kind of. It's a soft honor mode or Iron Man, not a hard one. But yeah, I know Wartales is great, and in this expansion, it's a pirates expansion. You get to be on a boat. You get to travel on a boat. You get to fight people on other boats. Shocking. Wartales has a pirate expansion, yet Skull and Crossbones still not out.
that comes out in February.
I'm just mad about this because I know I'm gonna probably like Wartales. You've talked enough about it where I'm like, I think I'll enjoy this game. I have yet to play it, despite the fact that I bought it. But you had me so much on a pirate expansion for it that I now might buy the expansion before I even play the game once.
Oh my gosh, this is like you and Destiny. You're just having to pay for another thing for Destiny.
Just
again.
remember
At
this.
least
Remember
it's not $70.
the part about this game you might not like or prefer. It is a low magic thing. Remember, this is depressing.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
This is a depressing mercenary management game. However, the aesthetics are great. The music's great. I love it.
And there's big
Watch the
skull.
streamers.
The preview I saw for the pirate thing. There's big skull island stuff, and
Yeah, there's an island you can go to. There's boat-to-boat battles. There's, I guess, watery undead. Like, even though it's low magic, there's a little bit of like medieval terror, in the game.
yeah.
Mainly it's just rats, like poisoned rats. But there's ghost wolves and weird undead guys. Actually, and you can capture the undead and keep them in your camp. They're not very helpful, but they can join your mercenary team. Reactions to my stream yesterday were funny because they're like, "How do you have so many bears?" Because bears eat a ton of food. Like you can capture bears, tame them. I have like 5 or 6 bears. They have like 700 hit points and they hit for a ton. The main drawback is like they can't work at any of your stations and they eat like a shitload of food. But I'm like, whatever, just gotta work to survive. Bears are amazing. I've got so many bears.
That's funny. They can't work at the stations. I mean,
yeah, like you have like you have your scholar station, and you can even take corpses and put them on impaling spikes and to scare people off and stuff. but bears, they just sit there and do nothing but eat. I have 2 warthogs as well, but
Wow, you're a real farmer in Wartales. Didn't see that coming.
it's just bears are awesome. Like, like
Can they fight for
Do
you?
Turns
you
out
at least?
think about bears?
They can fight.
bears like really kill good. Like,
Okay, so that was my question. You can have them fight in your turn-based battles and stuff, right?
oh yeah, my horse fight. One of my horses is a war horse. It fights too.
Nice.
I mean, to be fair, if I was getting in a fight with an army and that army had a bunch of bears, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, I had a really funny
I
moment
don't
last
wanna
night.
be a
My
part of
camp,
this.
my camp got ambushed while we were sleeping, and then the whole ambush it was like a reverse ambush because they were in the middle and my whole team was around them, and there were 6 bears, and I'm like, you idiots really thought you could attack a camp with 6 bears in it, and they died.
You know what I want? I want an HBO or a Prime series called
Oh,
Wartales.
that's Nash, by the way. So that character chopping wood you're showing.
Oh, that
that's
was Nash.
Like you can name all your characters, right? So that's Nash. He's good at chopping wood. in
That's
this game.
great. That's about all Nash was ever good at, was chopping wood.
Yeah. But it's, I can't speak to the quality of the expansion, but I can speak to the quality of the game, which is buggy but wonderful. And I love this game a lot. It's got good graphics for what it is. There's some worse graphics games that are like Mercenary Managers that I tried and just couldn't play, but this one's amazing. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's real pretty. Wartales is rad. Now you're making me want to check the expansion. I've only played it 3 times. The first game. I guess that's more than John. So
Yeah.
hold that over your head.
Oh, see, look, if you look right now too, there's a zombie horde. You
Oh, was
see
that
them,
what
but
that
on the
was that
right
ran
there-
past? That was a zombie
Yeah, in
horde?
Lutheran, there's just like a wandering like horde of zombies. Like it's like The Walking Dead. They're kind of in the fog there, but you'll see them. Well, maybe it's later. But there's a huge like procession of zombies in that zone, and it's just fun of trying to avoid them and stuff. I'd hate to see what happens when you get stuck fighting them endlessly or something because there's a lot. But
Lose your Iron Man save is what you do.
mm.
Okay.
I
D&D.
gotta
What's this D&D game? I don't...
Oh, so just well, you and I have talked. Well, the 3 of us have talked about it a little bit, but just a little PSA for everyone. As I am not working, and as plans for D&D are up in the air, I know a lot of you do enjoy watching me do the DM thing. So I did start a little DM show called Order and Defiance with Mike and Crofton.
Yeah.
It's on my YouTube channel. So that's what I did this past week. I played D&D. So
Is that the
just
same
do a
mic
little
as
search.
before? That's the same mic, right?
It's the same Mike, older now,
He looks so
Definitely, that's
different.
the same Crofton. So we're just playing a little D&D on the main channel. It's nothing, as epic, let's say, as There Will Be Dungeons, and it's not There Will Be Dungeons, which is what we get asked about. But it lets me keep practicing and just doing the thing. We'll be playing that like once a month. So just be sure to sub to my channel.
Is
and
Crofton
watch
an
it, if
agent
that's
of
something
chaos again, as usual? Is
Yeah,
he-
he's a rogue.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a rogue, and Michael, he's a rogue named Tilton Flea Fowler. His nickname is Flea, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I guess. And we have a half-elf druid named Dasmer, and that's what Mike's playing.
Is
And they're in the
Croft,
city of Red Skull.
does Crofton have a Star Wars arcade cabinet behind him? What is that?
He does, yeah. I think it's just like it looks like that. It's one of those ones where you get someone to program 5,000 main
Oh,
games
okay.
in there or something like
Gotcha.
that. Yeah. I don't think it's an authentic like one of, but it has lots of arcades. He has a shed in his backyard, so because the pandemic made him work from home, so he had Mike build him a shed, and in his shed, which is very echoey by the way, is the arcade cabinet and in his workstation. So he's playing in his shed right now. That's a shed. That's Bubbles right there from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, it is. And you're still using what's this called? This new it's a tool.
Oh no, that's a new VTT. That's Foundry I'm using right there.
Foundry. Okay.
So we were using Roll20 before, but Foundry is a fun little piece of software I picked up that's just a little more graphical and easier to use. A bit more work on my part to find assets and setup, but I've been making maps using Dungeon Alchemist as well as Wonder Draft.
That's what I was
And-
thinking of as Wonder or Dungeon Alchemist. That's the one. I
Yeah,
have.
Dungeon. Yeah, that's a Dungeon Alchemist map I made, and it comes with pre-baked lighting and walls, which is really kind of cool for Foundry. And so yeah.
That's awesome.
So there's some D&D there. You never know. It's not really a defined thing. Some guest stars maybe want to show up at some point and play some D&D. Oh, maybe like a certain uh, guy who likes chorecore games and a certain guy who likes Fortnite will make it onto Order of Defiance. I don't know.
Well, that
It could
Fortnite
be
one
like-
really narrows it down, but I know who you mean.
The Fortnite player, yeah.
The
I
Fortnite
always heard
player on
Scott
Core.
was he's Fortnite, Mr. Fortnite. That's
Yeah.
Captain.
I'm just
Fortnite.
going based on what today is. I could also easily define you both as the Final Fantasy guy and the
Elder Scrolls. guy.
handheld guy.
Oh, because of my Steam Deck.
Yeah, you like your handhelds.
Yeah.
And just handhelds generally.
I like being
the whole
handheld.
Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
But
That
yeah,
looks good.
come play Order and Defiance with us. Anyways, just want to let people know that that's happening.
I like the name. Order and Defiance.
Yeah.
Cool name.
Yeah, I got a whole world. It's a medieval style. We're going back to the medievals.
Now, Bo didn't
So-
have a chance to do it, but you are going to get some time with Asgard's Wrath 2, which got a 10 on
So-
IGN.
Hey, has
What is
anybody
going on?
told you about Asgard's Wrath, Bo?
Yes, that's all I've been hearing about since IGN published that damn review. IGN gave it a 10. I get it. And people are like, could you review it by the time tomorrow? You really need to. And I'm like, yo, like it's been like 24 hours. I haven't gotten to it yet. I will get to it. We'll talk about it next week, but not this week. So sorry to disappoint, but I didn't get an early copy like some IGN people did.
Yeah.
So
It
I don't
looks
even know
so-
if is it out now? I
Yeah, it's
haven't been
out
on
and
my
available, I
headset.
believe. Let's see. Can I say that for sure? Yeah, that came out this week, so you should be able to get it by going to
Yeah.
Steam.
I've
or
been
wherever.
it's been a busy week, but I will get to it. It couldn't have been recently. It wasn't like the 14th the release date. I don't know. Anyways,
It might
whatever.
be. It's very funny, or not very funny. It's very compelling, this line in this review that says this isn't an RPG that cuts away corners or feels limited by VR. And that's my biggest complaint about VR RPGs up to this point, is it always feels like you're having to cut corners. And this thing is like a fully fledged, would stand on its own, VR or not, kind of.
Today is the release date.
Oh,
I'm just
today
looking
is,
it up.
okay.
Yeah. It's like that's why I'm pretty sure it's not like I don't have time to play. I didn't look in the store, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it
you
was
weren't going to
something.
have it ready by today. And if we'd have done a show yesterday, like usual, you would have definitely not had time. with it.
Definitely not had time. So like, chill. I am gonna play it, and we'll let you guys know. But certainly, I'm shocked that it was given a 10, considering graphically it looks it almost looks worse than the first one. But graphics aren't the whole story. So we'll see.
Wow, they rave on this thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
John.
Well,
maybe
the first one was like a fully fledged RPG, had a menu system and like all that. I just didn't find the actual gameplay like super, compelling. Like I have to get back to this one. I went on to other experiences. It's like yeah, it's okay. Remember, guys, Zelda doesn't hook me, and this is like a very Zelda-ish game where you get a sword and you go on an adventure into dungeons and shit. So I don't know. All right, that's all I'm saying.
they have, just for the record, IGN has given out 66 perfect 10s in their history.
Okay,
Oh.
but like, hold on.
That's a lot, because that goes
This
back
is
to
on a sliding scale. Here,
Well, what did they give Half-Life Alex?
this is
let's find
not
out.
a game that if it was in non-VR would earn a perfect 10.
Well,
This is a
the review says they claim that if that's the case, this is as close as they've ever come. Like this doesn't, the VR is beside the point, although it
There-
adds to the immersion. That's what they're saying.
There is a scale. They had a 10 out of 10 experience for this VR game. There is a qualifier there.
Yeah, but that's also a little bit of the that's a John qualifier. I'm not saying you're wrong, because I think
Sure,
I think
yeah,
you're probably
sure.
right.
but like they've only given one other game a 10 in VR, and that's Half-Life Alex.
oh, that one got a 10. All right.
Yeah, for sure, it got a 10. It's absolutely a 10 game. And
Well, let's see if
so
they did, though.
on that
Half-Life.
basis, if it's like because that's my only other analog is in their VR estimation is that game, that means it must be pretty freaking good. Because it's not like I know what you mean. If they're enthusiastic about VR, they might like. Or it's like generally a worse game will get higher praise on VR because it's VR, and
Right.
that's absolutely true. If you read like game reviews on the MetaQuest store, it's like people rave about games that are like, "Is this your first VR game?" Because because it is pretty fun when you play your first VR game, even if it's not that great of a game.
Yeah.
So I think John's absolutely right to like have that concern, but what they're saying by giving it a 10 is like when you buy a VR headset, the must play absolute games are Half-Life Alyx and now Asgard's Wrath 2. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
And you are right about Alex.
They're
I gave
not
it a 10.
saying put this up against Baldur's Gate for Game of the Year.
Oh, you're
Like,
saying a VR 10 is a Pancake 6? I don't know.
Pancake 6. No, what?
Not
I think,
pancake. Yeah, pancake. Like that's the pejorative for flat screen.
no,
I
I get
just-
it. I get it.
I
yeah.
just mean that like Scott's saying like, John, you ready to get into VR because this is a 10 out of 10. And it's like it's not, but that's not what it means.
Yeah, you're seeing like, oh, this is a 6 out of 10 for every other game. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I
and
got you.
that's possible, I suppose. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if I cared about VR, I would probably pick
I
up
mean,
this game.
maybe when there's a MetaQuest 7 or 8 or 9, you'll finally get one or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not opposed to it eventually.
If anybody from Quest is like listening, like I don't need one, but like send the Scott and John a review copy.
I'm
please,
sure
of the
that Mark
headset.
Zuckerberg listens to this show and
I just
loves it.
People must listen to the show because I know we sell so much based on what we push. I hear like all the time, "Oh, I bought this game, I bought that game because of what you guys said." I'm like, I wish more developers knew where their sales were coming from, so they could help fuel us and get them more sales. But
Well,
I mean,
anyways,
if Mark
whatever.
wants to sell me one, I'll try it. And look, I will say that if I got one and I liked the experience, there would be people that would listen to that because I'm obviously not an evangelical about VR. Like
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
not particularly interested.
Don,
but
I was there.
at the same
I was
time,
there.
it's fine. I know.
No, but if you
What-
came
Remember-
back with a
remember-
glowing review,
Remember when Scott was like, "Quest 2 is amazing," and we were both like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
And then I got one, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is good!"
yeah, they are
And
good.
I felt like I knew better because I had a Rift S,
yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've done the headset." But man, when you see the quality on the screens nowadays, whew,
yeah, it's a big jump.
yeah,
If anything, it's not lost its luster for me. It just is not. I still think VR is too much work to
don't know.
get going.
I keep mine handy. It's just
No,
right here
I
on the-
literally said this week on stream, Scott. I 100% agree with you. VR for me is the Nintendo Switch. At a certain point, it is more of a hassle to hook that thing up on the TV so that grandma can play VR bowling or Wii bowling than it is I said Switch, I meant Wii. Like it's more of a hassle to hook up the Wii than it is for what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
That is my concern with VR. Seriously, like jokes and memes aside, I feel like I would wear it. I would go, "This is great. This is a game changer." And then it would be like, "Hey, do you want to play this VR experience?"
Yeah, there's some of that.
Thing,
I
it's
think if
got
you
dust on it,
when
like,
it's implants and we're all like just wired in, that'll change things. But right now, when it's a big old thing, enthusiasts are going to go through the work and it'll be fine. As it get lighter and lighter, I will go through the work and be fine. I just think that it's at a weird place where we're almost there. We're getting there, and there is some level of convenience at some point, like we did with phones. Prior to the iPhone and Android phones, we were content syncing our contact list by putting it in a little dock with our Palm Pilot or some shit and waiting for our computer to send things back and forth. And that was good enough, but it wasn't great. It was never great.
yeah.
This just needs to get to whatever that is, whatever that crest is. It will reach it. I have full confidence it will. But when it reaches it and it becomes kind of dumb not to have it, we'll know. And then games will be one of the huge beneficiaries. It'll be porn and games, man. The two big things. The two big pushers.
I used to lie to people. I used to tell people that the dogs chewed through the Wii cord. That's why we.
So you wouldn't
we
have to
couldn't-
hook it up. Oh.
Yeah, because I just didn't want to hook it up.
I've done that with batteries.
I didn't
with
want to. The little thing that sat on the top was so fiddly, like a gust of wind would knock it down. I didn't want to find it. Are the remotes charged? Are they in
Yeah.
the sleeve? Are you gonna wear the thing around your wrist? Like, it was such a hassle. And it's like, for what? So that we can go and bowl for the 800th time? Like, who cares? Like, nah, sorry, the Wii's broken.
Yeah, I used to do this with the Quest when people said, "Oh, can I see that?" I'm like, "Oh, I think the batteries are dead. I think they're just dead." Because I don't want them wearing it on their face and sharing it. You know, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Anyway, we're getting there. I know we're getting there, and Bo will lead us there. Bo's the man.
He will. Like, we need people like Bo who are willing to be in the Wild West days. Like, it's important.
Exactly.
I don't begrudge him it, but I don't want to be it.
You don't want to be that guy.
No.
Bo was afraid. Wait, I'm going to watch that movie. All right, where are we now? We're going to take a break. When we come back from this break, we have to do a Dear Martha, and it's going to be great because it's a review for the infamous The Day Before, which we haven't talked about at all. We'll get to all that, but we're going to hear it through Martha's eyes, or not Martha's eyes, Martha's husband's eyes from the war front. I always forget where Martha is. It's a little like Legend of Zelda. Who's Link and who's Zelda? Anyway, that's coming up after this. We're going to take that very, very brief break and come back. So,
when we come back.
all right. So hold on to it, Bo. Whatever it is you had there, don't let it leave you. We'll see you guys in a minute. Unmute all this, or not unmute, unpause. Let's see. Core,
What are we
right?
talking about?
Nothing
Poop.
yet.
You know, what we usually do on Core.
Yeah, poop.
Sweet.
Yeah,
had
always with the poop. All right, here we go.
I made a poopy.
Whoops, I did the wrong thing. Oh, well, that'll still work. Hey, everybody, we're back. We've returned from our needs and our wants, and and we're ready to go again. Bo, you before the break said, "Oh, wait a minute," and then you wrote it in the notes. What do you know about what's going on with that game?
Oh, just that Dyson Sphere program has a big update, adding. Look, it's not everyone's favorite, okay? Enemies.
Oh, the new
But it's
defense
Dyson-
thing, the combat mode deal.
Yeah, it's a big update. Been waiting almost feels like a year or more for like pretty Rise of the Dark Fog. It's called.
Yeah.
But it's an insane amount of weirdo enemies. Like they fill the screen up with all the enemies they're showing, so it looks just kind of insane. I don't know. I'm kind of stoked about this, honestly.
I
love
need
this
to see.
game.
I want to see it in action because I am inclined to turn off that stuff.
Yeah, the game is like highly modular though. So if there's something you don't like about, like I don't like nodes running out of resources because by the time I get one planet filled up, planet one is running out of shit to mine and is messing up my factories. So I just put it on infinite. I don't care. I'm not out to prove anything to anybody. So I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a sliding scale of difficulty and shit like that on this. I'm not. I'm confident there'll be a way to play that fits how you prefer to play it, I think. And even though you may not like that, I think other updates are coming as part of the game. It's not just enemies. It's just a pretty big one. That's the major feature. There'll be new things to build, new center brain to work towards.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all the particulars. I'm just scrolling through the patch notes now, and it's like, yeah, new features, combat mode, dark fog, which creates space hives, Gauss turret, laser turret, implosion cannon, missile turret, signal tower. There's a planetary shield generator. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I love shields on my planets. Battlefield analysis base. Drone. There's new drones.
Does
there's
the
an auto reconstruction marking.
Does the announcer still sound like this?
Let's play Pac-Man.
Is that guy still in there?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I might not rush it. I probably rush in and play, but like the other one, there's probably going to be bugs for them to iron out in this game. They're pretty good at getting things working right, but definitely when patches hit, there are bugs. So but still, I'm looking forward to this.
I am too. It's a game that I love. I love this game, and I'm terrible at it. I'll admit it. I'm bad.
It's also the problem with early access games, where like when you know a big update's coming, you don't play because you're like, we wait for the update. I've been like that with Valheim, like a new biome drop, but I'm still like, well, there's 2 more biomes. I don't want to play a bunch in that biome and then run out of fun and then have to come back later. You know, it's like, I'll wait maybe for the next installment. So I've been waiting, it feels like a long time to get my foot back into this game. So
Yeah. Well, all right, there you go. Your Dyson
finally
Sphere
here.
update. Now let's throw it over to Martha. Dear Martha, yes, it's time to get a letter from the home front, or to the home front from the war effort. And John is here to give us that. John, anything special here? Just go for it.
Nope, it's gonna be quick.
Excellent. Here you go.
My dearest Martha, I present to you now my review for The Day Before.
Uh-oh.
Recommended. The refund button works better than this game does. Yours in this life and the next, Rusty.
Well, you weren't wrong. That was a very quick one. That kind of sums it up pretty well, but we're going to dive into that a little bit more in the other news we missed. Let's talk about that first. So the Day Before was this hotly anticipated survival open world zombie game thing. And it had a Kickstarter that was successful and a lot of lead up and a lot of people talking about it. And then the game came out and it was so bad and so not what they had said was coming out that since then it got some of the worst reviews of all time on the platform on Steam. Is very, very bad. And the developer insta-quits, shut down all his social stuff. The head of the development team shut down all his Twitter crap. His LinkedIn account got locked. All this sort of stuff. Steam pulled the game after, 2 days, was it? I think.
Yeah. Company's gone. Company's done.
Company's dead.
And
what a weird
Steam
deal.
will offer a refund regardless of playtime.
Right. So even if you're over the 2 hours, it got a 1 on IGN. So there's a fun opposite.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old joke that IGN can't give anything above a 6 is no longer applicable.
Nope. And you thought that King Kong thing was bad, which I think got a 4. You think what was the other one?
How did that get a 4?
It got a 4. I mean,
It had some redeeming qualities, apparently.
yeah, better than this. I think it's the same reviewer. I think the same guy. But anyway,
I mean, it is better than this game. It actually functions and can be played, I suppose.
This is what the guy left on socials before bolting. His message was this on his X account. You know, we used to call that Twitter. Still do.
I still call that.
Yeah, you still do. Quote, "This was our first big experience, period. Shit happens, period." That's the entirety of the quote. Now, I don't want to pile on. Sounds like these guys got...
pile on. This sounds like a real asshole.
It does seem like kind of a dick, but also...
Not to throw stones at people I don't know, but I vaguely think that if you build up a game as one thing, constantly fight because there were people before this game came out, I saw multiple videos on YouTube that this game was not going to come out and that this was potentially a hoax and potentially a scam, and that the only reason they weren't flat out calling it a scam was they weren't able to figure out how they were going to make money, and then they started selling it and it came out. And none of the things they promised were in there. There's plenty of evidence that supports that this game was thrown together off store-bought quick assets for a fast turnaround. There has been a kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a whistleblower because the company's gone, but there's an anonymous former worker who said that anybody who spoke out against the project was immediately fired. These seem like the definition of assholes. So, Scott, go ahead and throw stones. I think it's fine.
Well, to make it worse, some dude did a live stream of him making this game. It reminded me of Bo's in a weekend thing. But basically making a more feature-filled game from scratch in less time than this thing supposedly took to make. And that was kind of embarrassing. So there's been a lot of pile-on going on. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if everybody involved deserves as much shit as the principals, but... even this trailer.
You don't go after everybody, but there's certainly some people who are guilty.
And what's funny is this this trailer here that supposedly this is in-game stuff here. Nothing in the game is none of this is there. Like none of these models are there. They don't look like this. The land he's walking around in doesn't look like this. Like it sounds scammy as hell. But they're done. They're gone, and Steam wiped it, and this thing is no longer a thing you can get. So sorry to anyone who was looking forward to The Day Before It is now the day after. The Game Awards happened, and we were here for it. We, of course, did our live show about it, but it created a lot of drama afterwards. The wrap it up signs were, we didn't know that at the time, but like when Asterian actor said, well, I guess I need to wrap this up, or I'm being told to wrap this up. I didn't know he meant literally there was a sign saying, please wrap it up. After given only 30 seconds to say anything. Nobody was given...
wrap it up box.
Yeah, 30 seconds maximum for most of the recipients. Another big controversy was Kratos actor making fun of Call of Duty being the shortest campaign, or my speech was longer than the recent Call of Duty.
That shouldn't be a controversy.
That's not controversial. That's just a fun poke.
Call of Duty players, like, stop being such emotional. You know, for tough guys that like your Mill Slims, as soon as someone slights your game in the slightest, it's like, mommy. Like, come on, chill out. You know,
you
like,
should also, factual.
You can make fun of your game.
Like, we have a way to find this out. You can go how long to finish, like, or whatever the website is. That might actually be a porn site. I don't know what the actual website is.
I think it's how long to beat. It's how long to beat.
How long to beat. That could also be a porn site. Be careful. Google it carefully. But go there and check and look at Call of Duty. For like mainline Call of Duty titles, it has the shortest campaign. That's not opinion, that's fact. Like, it's just the truth. And yes, officially it was longer than that campaign is longer than his speech, but that's where the joke is. Like, seriously, come off it. Like, it's such a weird thing to get hung up on. Like, it's not that hard to go find out that they're based in truth.
Yeah, most of the Call of Duty campaigns are somewhere in the 6 to 7 hour range. They're never very long. They're always kind of short. This game is 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours, 5.5, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And like, what, $90 for 5 hours? Like, I mean,
and also not great by all accounts. Not even a good 5
hours.
Yes,
it's also one of the worst reviewed ones as well.
Yeah, it's not received well by anybody. So
it is just a fact. And you know what? People who are defending it, why? I heard someone say this the other day, and it's just true. You deserve better. Stop arguing for bad. You deserve a good Call of Duty. Yeah. Whether you play just the multiplayer or you care about the campaign or both, you deserve better than what you're getting. Yeah. Expect it. It's fine.
Yeah. This brings up a good point, though, about the Game Award, or just Game Awards in general in the video game space, because, like, in the movie industry, when they have their awards, even I think maybe the music awards too, like, there's roasting that goes on, right? Billy Crystal gets up there and he's gonna laugh. They're gonna make jokes, or Ricky Gervais, I guess, has done it recently. Yeah. Whatever. Somebody's gonna get up there and like say some shit. It's gonna be funny. Like, you're gonna get roasted, and like, the worst thing you can do is make it worse. But like, gamer, you see the Xbox versus PlayStation 5 conspiracy theory tinfoil hat people on socials, right? Like,
oh yeah, the PlayStation.
Like, it's just like, name a more sensitive bunch of people who can't take a little bit of ribbing about their games. Like, my game doesn't suck, your game sucks. Stop making fun of my game. Like, come on, like. Even Christopher, he actually had a good joke in a milieu that whenever comedians get involved, it's like what Matthew McConaughey did. It's like, it's pew 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 or whatever the f that.
I hated that.
That was like
terrible. Like, nobody, someone comes along and makes an actual good joke, and then everyone's like in their feelings about it. It's so sad. You're so sad if
lame.
Even if. Yeah.
If you think Call of Duty people are sensitive, let me introduce you to Spider-Man 2 people, because
they got debated so hard. Their game was never going to win anything. It just looked really cool, so it got nominated. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're not good, but
I think it's a worthy game. But in a year with the kind of competition it had, there was no way it was going to win. And the whole idea that there was some kind of like purposeful snub happening. I hate that kind of talk. I mean, it's just conspiracy theories, like, in general. But
it's not like I loved Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It is one of my favorite games I played this year. Another spoiler for in a couple weeks when we do Game of the Year. I'm gonna talk more about it, but it wasn't it wasn't the game of the year.
But
and
just
it's
to be
not
clear,
gonna
it
be
won't
my
game of
number
year.
2 or 3. Like instead of getting there and coming up with a bunch of funny memes about how Spider-Man 2 was robbed or there's a gaming Illuminati taking your award, this is when you all needed to get together and come up with the memes of it was an honor to be nominated.
Yeah.
Like that was your year.
That was your year,
'Cause-
exactly. And you know what else? You know who should have been throwing the shit all over the house and didn't for some reason? Was anybody who liked Starfield. Like, I thought that was
No.
going to be the snub of the year.
No, the Starfield people got exactly
speaking about another bunch of sensitive people.
That's my point. Like, everybody's got their thing, and they're all wrong. So cut it out, and who cares? And also, awards are kind of a problem. We either need to mature real quick as gamers for this stuff, or quit doing it. Quit trying to do it. Yeah, go ahead.
The main issue, though, it was the 5 hours of ads in 30 seconds. We lost a lot of people this year. Hey, shut up, Larry, and get off the stage. Or even the Zelda guy was he looked like he wasn't ready to get off the stage. You know, we want to talk about the development. We thank you. Hey, get the hell off the stage. It's ads time. You know,
Yeah, it was an overcorrection, but it's also a problem every year. I will say this. I thought the Game Awards this year was exceptionally less cringe than normal and overall a better production. But I do think that calling it the Game Awards is a little disingenuous to what it is.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's time. And I've said this every year. We watch it, we talk about it on this show, and every year I say the same thing. I'll say it again. Probably shouldn't be called the Game Awards. This should probably be called the Game Awards present the Video Game Showcase. Whatever. This is an advertisement, like G3 for Jeff. I don't know, but it is not celebrating the games.
Here's what I think.
That there could be a version that does.
Right.
But there's also so many people like.
Did you watch the Golden Joysticks? Because that was an award show.
Yeah, but that's not what this is, and that's why I think I'm not telling them to change the structure. I just think they should change the name.
Yeah,
just stop pretending it's the video game.
This is what they did. I guarantee. I would bet money that I'll bet $100 right now that Jeff Keighley's idea originally was, I want to make an award show like the Oscars for games, and I want it to be the premier one and be awesome. And to get there, lots of sacrifices and what's the word? Contraceptions.
Compromises.
Contraceptions.
Lots of contraception had to be lots of compromises had to happen.
It worked.
And then by the end of this thing, he is now left going, well, I named it before I made all these compromises.
Right.
It is what it that's how this feels to me. Like I think it's
named
that because that's what he wanted.
Hang on. You know what it should be, though, is the money's coming from the wrong place. Yes, take money from advertisers, but the industry can't expect to have an institution without them funding it. That's a little bit cake and eat it too kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know where the motion picture awards money comes from, but I guarantee it's not all from advertisers.
Also, a lot of this stuff gets shown on TV. It's not trying to make up a insanely costly production off of what you're going to get from a Twitch and YouTube stream.
It should be something that game developers should be membershiping into. They should,
and they might be. Like, that's the other thing is a lot of people will talk.
If that's true, then the ads.
People will talk as if they are experts on what Jeff is doing right and wrong with absolutely. And I'm not saying I have this knowledge either. No knowledge on who's backing it, how much they're giving, and what concessions are having to be made for this thing to fund.
Yeah.
Like, I completely agree with Scott. I don't think Jeff Keighley wants to run a giant advertisement with awards as an afterthought, but I think logistically that's what it kind of has to be.
It has to be. Yeah.
I just think you should change the name then.
Yeah, I think that now would be the time to change it. Also, I'll say this again. I said it on a short video on More Core this week, but I'll say it again because I really believe it. I think I've had enough of Kojima worship. This is a weird.
But we also don't know. What if he pays for half the thing?
He might very well pay for all
of it.
What
if this is like remember when we did the PC gaming showcase and the dude from AMD came out handcuffed to a graphics processor and talked for 45 minutes about the future of AMD graphics?
Yeah.
it could be that. Now, it might not be. It could be Jeff wants to give his friend a spotlight. We don't know. And like that's the thing. Overall, all we can judge as people sitting at home is did we like it or didn't we? I thought the trailers were actually surprisingly good. I thought most of what they showed I was excited about, which is a rarity. Overall, I didn't think the show was that bad. Personally, I wish I got to hear more from the people that won awards, and that's how I feel about it. I don't know the logistics. That's just my honest critique of the show.
Yeah. Just no more Kojima is Jesus
I think
stuff.
it's that kid's fault.
What kid?
I think the reason why we had to see more ads is because they had to pay for more security.
He was there.
I mean,
by the way,
that might be true.
Did you guys see the pictures? He was in the crowd. He
Yeah,
got
he
in
was
somehow.
there. He also got handed a notice that he was permanently banned from the event. He took a picture of that too.
Yeah, I think
So
that happened.
someone found him at some point.
Yeah, I thought prior to this that was the case, and he found a way to sneak in. Maybe they just made it official. I don't know, but that twerp, little twerp. Freaking hate that kid.
He'll get recruited someday by the CIA. He's pretty good at installing himself places.
What
Maybe
a pud.
The U.S. government will send him over to somewhere.
I fear for the future. I fear for the future with that kid. I do. And I don't mean everyone's like him. I mean that one kid. I'm worried about what he's going to do. I'm worried about what shit he'll pull off in time that will hurt people.
I don't know. We all did stupid stuff when we were kids.
Yeah, I remember sneaking into a multi-million, possibly billion-dollar presentation event, storming the stage, and there's no way. If I was in that business, if I was in the gaming business, and if I even got a smell that kid was anywhere near anything, I don't know what I'd do. I
He's
hate
gonna be
it.
on this show one day.
Oh,
You're gonna
my gosh.
Skype like either me or Bo, and he's gonna answer.
No.
That's
When
fine.
he'll hack your Discord.
When's the next April 1st on a Thursday?
Oh shit! Hopefully never.
Maybe I am sure I could reach out to him and get this.
No, he loves
we
the
got a
spotlight.
while.
He'd be
We
in.
got a while, yeah.
Bill Clinton. GTN.
I just think that would be a great April Fool's Day joke, especially with how worked up Scott gets about it. The call comes through and he answers.
Maybe it's the cold
Then,
meds. but
then we'll have to increase our advertising.
Yeah.
I mean,
to
where
pay
is
for the
that?
security
Where is
on
that
the
little
show.
prick? Where is that prick's parents? What do they think of this shit?
Well, they
That's
probably
the-
love him. They're like, "Oh, he's so cute." The
Oh,
way he
look
gets
at
on
him.
TV.
Yeah, look at him on TV.
I mean, it's not
Anyway.
that serious, That's probably what they think.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what
not
they
in
think.
jail.
It's
Not
not
yet.
like he's disrupting anything. It's like a
He's
video
not in
game
jail.
character.
He's getting talked about. He's living on the lips and minds of people all over the world all the time. Like, is it really like this is the problem? You're motivating it right now.
I am. I'm part of the problem. I'm literally part of the problem. I'm fueling it because
this
there are
is a
people
small
who there are people who agree with me. They're at home right now going, "Yeah, Scott, preach it. This kid should be kicked to the curb." or
Yeah, a
whatever."
lot of people, sure.
Yeah.
But
but
they love
you're
this
still talking
controversy.
about him. You're still thinking.
That's what
about
I'm
him.
saying.
Controversy is part of its content farming for him, and
Yeah, and he's succeeding because I'm giving him showcase here, and I shouldn't.
I'm just saying I made a fun. I think like just a joke that the reason why there's so many more ads is to keep him off stage, and the fact that he snuck in but didn't make it on stage probably makes it like, oh, I'm glad we spent that extra money.
Yeah.
That's probably what Jeff is going. He's like, these fools, they don't realize like this kid's ruining the business.
Well, so the last thing I'll say about this kid is, here's your bird right there, big old '70s bird. Take that.
I'm sure he'll
70s
stop
bird.
now.
That'll be the
Scott
end of that.
Johnson gave me the finger. I'm
Yeah.
done.
The
I'm
biggest-
done living in the limelight.
The
All these
biggest.
Twitter followers I got.
That's the
not worth it.
beefiest bird I can produce. Is that big old fat?
I mean,
freaking-
Travis in the chat says at least he isn't destroying property. You know, that's true. I went sneaking out with friends. We'd throw bottles through. I'm granted they were abandoned building windows, but we would do it. Like, just because his was more like
public.
public doesn't necessarily make what he's doing worse than that.
No, I agree
feel-
with all those sentiments. I still say he's a
You
twerp
shat in a
marine.
construction zone's pipe.
Yeah. On my way to pick my daughter up
I
because
guarantee you ruined one guy's day a lot worse than what he
And
did.
there's probably somebody out there right now who still talks about it.
Now, granted, it was just one guy, but I guarantee you he had a worse day.
the pipe guy. You can hear him like 4:00 in the morning. Sun's just coming over the mountains. He's in there getting this pipe ready. Shit! What the hell happened in here? I can hear it. I can see it. All right, whatever. That kid, do whatever you want publicly, kid. Just know that you're a dork, and that's it. That's it. You're a dork. In the worst possible application of the term dork. Which I think is a whale's penis. Anyway.
I was going to say, the whale penis.
I think it's the whale's penis. Twitch literally overnight tripled the amount of boobs on its platform and then instantly rolled it back. They're not doing it now. But I went to check that place, and I'll tell you what. The one place I like to go on there is art. I like to see people draw.
Oh, so you saw it all then.
Oh my gosh, that whole category. That whole category is nothing but boobs and butts and vajays and wieners.
I saw a lot of vascular wieners.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of close up, people zoomed way in on their their device while they're painting. It's like, what did they expect? I don't know why. I don't know why Twitch expected anything different. But
do we know why? Do we have to cover this story for people? Because I know there's a lot of people even come to watch me. They're like, I'm not on Twitch much, but I come to watch this.
That's true. There's safe. It's safe to talk about. So Twitch had admitted themselves that they had vague guidelines in terms of their policy regarding nudity on the platform, adult content on the platform, and they walked it back, and they were going to allow quote unquote artistic nudity on Twitch. Now, they did lay out exactly what that meant. And what that ultimately resulted in was a lot of people streaming topless or with butts out, and a lot of people drawing very erotic art. And they, in I think just over 24 hours, if you go to the letter, they changed it. And now real person and artistic nudity is no longer allowed on the platform. M-rated video games still allowed. That's fine.
Oh,
there were some...
My question... sorry. I have a question about this because...
Yes, go ahead.
Is it because they changed their mind after they saw what happened? Or is it because people pushed the boundary too far and moderating it would be too much work? It's not the people that are coloring within the lines. Twitch. People are always pushing the boundaries on Twitch. So it's like the people following the rules are fine, but then someone else is doing way worse shit.
Well, they started.
My understanding from what I heard was that some of the big problem, like it wasn't a quantity thing. I believe that they genuinely knew that there were going to be people that did this. I think that there was a surprise at how graphic, and also there were some very problematic ones. Somebody was using AI generated art to make photorealistic pornography and putting that in the art section. And I also have heard, again, I don't know all of the details on it, but I have heard that there were certainly some questionable content as far as what was being shown in terms of age and what was being depicted in the art. So I think this might have been a case, and the way I'm assuming here that Twitch thought, well, this will be a good way to clarify things so people know exactly how to act, and maybe we don't have to, police this as much. And then it exploded, and they went, oh no, we're going to have to police this a lot more. And I also expect it probably impacted what's the word I'm looking for? Like commercialization of Twitch. Like there were probably
advertisers don't like their stuff running alongside shit like that.
Because you don't change something in less than 24 hours, a major policy update, which they clearly at least put some thought into. You don't change that in less than 24 hours unless there was a monetary hit.
Always. Yeah. I think they were feeling the pressure from Kick having much looser guidelines. It's my tinfoil hat theory that Kick's making a dent. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that might have been the motivation to start with. But you got to remember, this is the same streamer who we're streaming on right now, full disclosure, and I'm a partner. They are the same people that banned Kyle and Kristen for a month for wearing swimsuits during a
still get mad about
Heroes of the Storm summer event, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
A month they got kicked off for. They've never been good at even handing this stuff ever. They've never been good at it. And this just made it like seem anyway like the gates were open. Like, brr, everybody and their dog's going to come in here and test the limits. And
Well,
I
on
think
the
some
one
stuff
hand, they
got real
want to
bad.
get out of it. There's no money to be made in content moderation,
Right.
Like,
Right.
so you know, it's just an expense. So like, if people would behave, the best thing for the company would be like, everyone's pretty reasonable. We have rules, and situations happen once or twice a year that we got to step in. Cool. But it's actually like, I mean, it's the opposite, right? Like,
Yeah.
that site thrives off of controversy. So every week there's something that people are doing that seems salacious. Whereas if you do it on, Pornhub or whatever, no one gives a crap.
No one cares. Yeah.
You do it on Kick, no one gives a crap. But for some reason, if it happens on Twitch, every little nerdy incel in the universe is like having an opinion about gamers. We shouldn't have boobs and play video games. They hate it, or whatever. Like, personally, I don't care if someone wants to stream on Twitch naked and play a video game or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't think they should, because I only watched one video on this. It was Ludwig's, and he's like, the point he made, which I agree with, is that YouTube is worse than Twitch, but YouTube hides it better. Like, the actual underlying tech will not, like, there's naked yoga on YouTube. Enjoy, like, watch some of it, and it's like, yeah, they're naked. This is on YouTube. My algorithm never feeds it to me because, well, I'm just not interested. And it's probably pushing it down for only those weirdos that are interested in it. I think YouTube's probably more focused on getting rid of hate speech and, serious misinformation mills
Yeah. I think
than
so,
they
too.
are getting rid of porn. So they just kind of hide it. And Steam does the same thing. They're like, yeah, have the games on here. I have a button I can click. I can take it off. So personally, I don't care if Twitch can have all the nakedness. You can have sex on it for all I care, as long as it shouldn't be in the public facing version, whether you logged in on an account or a default account where you haven't proven your age.
Right.
Yeah, the implementation was really weird because it was not hard to find. Like, you were a click or two away from a screen full of it, and it's like, well, you've got this tag system that's supposed to identify them. Why aren't you blurring out anybody with that tag, or why aren't you segregating anybody with that tag to another layer deep, or a different tab, or a different version of the program, or applying a filter where it can be turned off? Like, it just seems so weird to me that they were like, no, there's just going to be a tag there and it'll be fine. And then if you, like Scott, went to the art section of Twitch, you had to scroll to find something that didn't have nudity contained in it. Like, it was, it blew up.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think them doing this is just making it worse. Like, I know they had bad stuff on the site. They're gonna have, because it's in the news, they have to moderate hard now. But the underlying tech should push it down, because the site gets off on controversies. It's been years now. We don't cover it on the show very often, but like every week there's a thing. The people that participate in the site like to have controversies. Like, it's its own little like news mill or whatever you want, like grinding stone
Like
for
content
that stuff.
creation engine.
So, and there's a lot of younger people, and forbidden fruit or getting told no about something is a reason to protest a myriad of different arguments against it, even though, as you sort of pointed out earlier, they're probably trying to get pedophiles off the site. Like, it's the worst among all the content creators that are the problem. But if you're opening up to broadcast everyone, how do you solve that? And it's like, YouTube's probably come up with the better way of doing it, which is the egregious cases they go after, and everything else gets effectively shadow banned,
Right.
unless you've opted into it heavily. And that's what they should do. I think the problem is a lot of those adult performers make a lot of money, have large fan bases, and still gain notoriety even in spite of it. But so yeah,
I just can't believe they came out with this plan, this change. I didn't think about those ramifications. I would have. And they had such a vague definition. It was like, we'll allow artistic nudity. Well, of course, everyone's going to go, ooh, what does that mean? Can we stretch that? What's that definition? How far will it go? Like, come on.
Exactly.
Give me a break.
It's an immaturity thing. Like, if you tell me, like, hey, I'll buy your McDonald's today. We're going to eat at McDonald's and buy anything you want. And I'm like, okay, I'll have like a combo and maybe I'll have an extra sandwich. I'm not like, I'll buy everything I want. I'm buying 50 Big Macs. Like, do you really need 50? You said I can buy anything I want. You know, it's just like, it's that level of maturity. It's like that's the intelligence of the average Twitch user. Sorry. But seriously, like in aggregate, because this is an actual big issue, that does mean that the average intelligence level of people on there is not very high.
No, you just described the problem that Red Lobster had. They have an endless shrimp thing they were doing.
Yeah.
And they lost $10 million on the deal.
Right.
And had to shut down locations and stuff because people would come in and go, well, you said it was endless. I'm going to be here till we're...
You said there would be no end.
And what that tells me is that Red Lobster, or Twitch in this case, just didn't think it through. And you have smart people over there. I don't know why they didn't think it through.
And just to be clear, because there are people watching on Twitch now, if you watch Scott on Twitch, you are not a part of this group, okay? Like,
yeah, you're not the
problem. You were like top 1 to 2 percentile on intelligence if you're watching a channel like this. That's why there's not many people watching this channel, but 10,000 people watch Dumbo McDumbo go Pepega. The XQC can't even speak like any language properly, and they love that guy. He's just like, they're like, more, we love this intelligent content. Like, it's so stupid. Like, and the point is they like it because it's stupid, because they're stupid, and it's just stupid love stupid. What can I say? Anyways, I'm done.
Sure.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, like, again, this was a problem because it inundated the top spots, which meant that not only were people creating it, but it also meant that people were watching it. So at the end of the day, like, it's a problem created on both sides.
Right.
And I'm with you. I'm surprised they didn't see it coming, because I went, does this mean, as soon as I heard it, I was like, does this mean what I think it means? Clicked on Twitch, clicked on just chatting. Yep. Clicked on
that's
art.
Exactly what you thought.
Okay, it meant exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, one click away.
Exactly.
Everything was a click away.
I just thought they were actually going to stay the course and let this sort of like reaction to it
simmer,
die down.
Yeah.
And then when people because when you don't react, right? We know this is how bullying works. It's like you don't feed them the juice. So you're like, yeah, draw your cocks, like whatever, okay. And then when people aren't making money anymore at it and no one cares, and it's like, then people will just stop and just shadow ban those accounts that you're talking about that are doing CP, that are pushing boundaries.
Well, that's why I think you're right about the commercial end of it. Somebody
just quietly kill them, get the algorithm to kill their streams, and if they say you're unfair, just be like, yep, unfair. We like video games and creative people. We don't like this shit. Like, don't care.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what the internal atmosphere in there is in terms of getting this stuff done. But they really need to come up with something consistent and stick to it. I feel like it's bad that they reverted course, but
I mean, that was the whole point of it. The whole point was to make it clear so you knew exactly what it was that you could and couldn't do. And then when you change it within 24 hours, not a complete reversion either. Like, they basically said, okay, these two parts don't apply. Well, thanks for clearing all that up, Twitch.
Yeah,
you've really made it crystal clear now. We all know exactly what to do on your platform.
Yeah.
I think, I think the implementation needed to be better. I don't mind that Twitch tried to do this. I think Twitch can have whatever it wants on its platform as long as it's legal. But I think the implementation of it was laughable. And you needed to anticipate it.
Yeah. And all this has done is open up that old argument wound of, well, what you're telling me is it's okay to show beheadings and mass shootings and, referring to video games. It's okay to show that all day, every day, constantly, but it's not okay to have a drawn boob. So now we have to deal with that argument again, which I think there's value in that argument. But if Steam was looking to kick up dirt, okay, tinfoil hat, maybe this helps them in the long run. It keeps the focus on them and not on Kick and not on YouTube and not on whatever else. So people are flooding to Twitch to see, ooh, that's where all the shit's going down. And so,
I don't know.
So maybe pulling the rug like this keeps the attention high. Maybe it does them no favors by pulling the rug. I don't know. I can't tell who benefits from any of this, to be honest.
I think everyone's lost the plot on Twitch a long time ago. It's hard to, I think nobody knows what works. It's just working. Like, like in terms of it being controversial. Because like I said, this stuff happens on other sites, and press sites don't publish a billion articles about it. It's just whenever there's a meta on Twitch, there's a journalism meta about writing about Twitch. So I don't know whether it's somebody's cookies, they don't like their expensive ass cookies, or the fact that they're in hot tubs. I mean, also mainly centered around what women are doing. Nobody, unless guys are.
It usually isn't about
off,
dudes. Yeah, you're making a good
it's
point.
always like a woman issue. It's like it's just women's always at the center of the topic and what they can and cannot do. It's kind of annoying too. Like it's.
Yeah, and if you go to Kick has they have an upfront category for pools, hot tubs, and bikinis. I mean, they're leaning into it, and that's fine. I think they're having an impact because I think that's why Twitch reacted.
I think if they were having an impact, I don't think people just wouldn't talk about Twitch. I think people like I think it seems like Twitch is doing bad, but actually, I think they're still the number one place for people. I mean, Kix has its own problems. It has a whole IP like pirated movies and TV channel. It isn't called that, but that's all the streamers on there do. Like, I don't know. It's just a problematic place. Like, I'm not sure if it's cool to just be watching. Like, I like the idea, but at the same time, I'm like, will I get in trouble if I do this stuff like very publicly? Like, what if I want to watch Community, and I'm on Kick where it's like cool to do it? I still could get directly messaged and sued for that shit. So I don't think it's a wise place for anyone to be a part of.
Yeah, I kind of agree. All right, final thing. This is kind of a big deal, but we'll just make it the last thing we mention because I don't know if we have much to add. But E3 is dead and for good this time.
Already died.
The ESA came out and said, well, last year they said, we're skipping this one, but we're coming back bigger than ever next year. That's what they said about next year, about 2024. They are no longer saying that. They're saying, we're done. We tried. We're out. This doesn't exist anymore. Congratulations, Jeff Keighley. You took our thing. That's not what they're saying. I made that part up, but they're done. No more E3.
All right,
again.
GG.
They're done again.
They're done again.
GG.
I don't think we ever hear about it again, to be honest. I think we're finished.
What if there's an E3 next year? What if
Hold on.
There's still somebody keeping the lights on?
I want to lean into this. In what capacity? Because I think you're right. Depending on how you define, there will never be another E3.
There will not be an event called E3.
I disagree.
E4 is coming. Oh, shit.
There will be an E3 in the future.
They'll add another E to the list, so it's entertainment. I don't know.
Bo's going E4. I say they'll do that. And
Or
an
electronic.
event called E3 will happen again, and Scott says no.
Okay, that's our bet. I like it.
That's the bet.
All right.
All right,
How
Well,
long
if it-
is there a statute of limitations?
Well, let me
on
ask you this. Does the
Yeah.
ESA have to be the ones running it or no?
No, that's
No.
why I was asking you. I was just saying an event called E3 will happen.
Oh, shit. That makes it a little more
That's
nebulous.
why I asked you to clarify.
All right, you know what?
Scott,
I'll stick
because
to it,
it's
though.
important.
I'll stick to it. I don't think it's ever called E3 or the Electronic Entertainment Expo ever again. Even if something comes back, it won't be called that. And you're saying it will, right?
Yes.
Okay. Someone write this down. Remember this, Bo. Do you have a?
No, I said it's going to be E4. Like so.
Oh, yeah,
they'll be back.
Bo's bet is E4 is happening, which honestly I think probably pretty likely.
So what would the
'cause I can
final E
totally
be?
see someone going E4, man.
Yeah,
It's
but what if they
E3,
went
but better?
electronic? But it would have to be
E for
electronic.
you. It's E for you.
EU. It's EU.
But what's your final E? What's the new E? You have to give it a thing.
What are the first three? I don't even know.
Electronic Entertainment Expo. And then what's the next E? For everyone or
Extreme.
esports? Extreme? Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's the first E. We're adding an E to the beginning. Extreme Entertainment Expo Euphoria.
Oh, my gosh.
Immediately. They spelled it weird.
Immediately.
You put Euphoria on there. I love it. All right. Well, watch this space for the outcome of this bet, which will probably take years, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah, it's a yearly thing,
Yeah.
but we'll find out.
We'll see what we can do.
Well,
Scott
they're
and
going
I-
to announce it's dead next year, so we'll
Call him up as an old man. I was right.
It was
E3
correct
is
the whole
happening
time.
Right now.
I can die now. All right.
Who's that E4, bitch?
How about this?
That's a good question.
I have an email. This is an email from Jordan from Manitoba. Okay. Talktothecore@gmail.com is the email address he used and says this. Greetings, Core Crew. I just have to say I love John's dinosaur facts from the latest episode. That is all of the show, Jordan. I don't remember this.
Manitoba, pretty cold place.
What'd you do, Bo
Excited
or
about
John?
that.
What'd you talk about dinosaurs? I don't remember the deal.
I just talked about dinosaurs. People appreciate a good dinosaur fact or two.
Well, what do you
Although
remember?
I will say all my
Oh, this was
dinosaur
about the-
knowledge is extraordinarily dated.
This
so-
was about the Dildopolysosaurus or whatever.
Oh, right, the one that spits in Newman's face.
Yeah, the Dilophosaurus.
That's
It's
the one.
It's a
it's bigger than
Diaphragmosaurus.
it's typically depicted.
All right. So what we're gonna do is from now on we will find ways to bring in more dinosaur knowledge. All right, Jordan.
This is dangerous. I do not have a deep well of dinosaur knowledge. There's basically what I remember from when I was a child.
Oh,
but
okay.
by all means, we'll try and put more dinosaur facts in the show.
Now I'm picturing you with Dr. Grant at the beginning of Jurassic Park, the kid that's kind of a snot, and he's telling him how that raptor claw could tear him in half.
look very scary.
I'm picturing you in that role now.
Yeah.
That's how you learned everything you know.
I think somewhere I have a Photoshop of me on that kid's face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I think I do. Hold on. You keep talking.
All right, I'll
see if I
keep
can find
talking.
it.
If you do, send that over. All right. Next up, we have a text. This came to us at 801-471-0462, as usual. And it says, this is for Core. We don't... I tried to avoid the hams, but it got brought up. I still think 10 Hams is a great studio name for a game company.
Oh yeah, I agree.
10 Hands Games. Got to do that. Yeah. Anyway, for Core, and this is anonymous, so I don't have their name. I'm curious, could there be a legitimate place for hiring hitmen in hardcore WoW? Could you theoretically work out a contract with a rogue or other ne'er-do-well to quote-unquote take out a competitor or someone you simply find irksome in the game? I mean, I don't know.
If you can find a way to flag him for PvP, absolutely doable.
Oh yeah, that'd be the way, right? Well, in hardcore, does it work the same in hardcore? It's not PvP on all the time. You have to flag it, right?
Yeah, you have to flag on for PvP, but there are quests that flag you on for PvP, which you could accidentally enable, and you could just walk too close to an opposing faction's town.
Yeah.
And you could just there are people who, like we've talked about this, who name themselves after NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
And try to sit in their model and hide with their PvP flag enabled, but they're like way higher level and spank noobs. That happens. But in terms of, you're talking about like an EVE Online bounty system or something like that, where you can hunt other players and, go after them. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's, I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't think it's the game for it. I don't think anyone, I don't know, maybe you could, yeah. If you're saying should WoW modify the game to add that stuff in, probably not. It probably just going to create a lot of complaining people for them and not a lot of good gameplay.
Sure.
IMO.
That's interesting though. Concept wise, I like that the hardcore nature of the game might force people to tactically think different. It's not going to probably.
If it wasn't like a 500-hour ask to get to level 60, it is classic WoW. It's no small thing. Maybe if in a game where losing a character isn't tremendously punishing, having a bounty system is fun, and being wanted is fun, right? But I think in this game it just would kill. I mean, imagine a streamer playing that, all the bounties on a streamer playing.
Oh my gosh!
Just to troll them, it's not going to happen. But I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah,
bounty systems are fun, but not in a hardcore game, I don't think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. All right, quick note. I made a decision while we were reading those emails and stuff. That Disco Elysium code is now up on the Discord contest group, which means it's a good way to get people on Discord. If you haven't already joined our Discord, it's really easy to do. Go to frogpants.com/Discord. You can sign up. There's a whole awesome, very active core group in there, along with all the other Frog Pants stuff. But importantly, for this thing that I'm mentioning, up on the or in that site, there's a giveaways under Frog Pants Central. There's a giveaways link, and I just started it. Disco Elysium.
Oh,
we have
shit.
24 hours. We have 4 entries so far. If you're here live or you're at home, anyone gets a chance to win this thing. That's how we're doing it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's up and running. You just click that little
almost
box.
got away with not screwing it up.
I know, right?
Yeah, because Elysium is misspelled.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we gotcha.
Is it?
In
There's
the
a
end,
Y.
Bo
There's a
gotcha.
Oh, it's a Y, not an I? Shit. Well, anyway, you guys know.
You spelled it Elysium.
Elysium.
It's
It sounds
fine.
like a disease. Anyway,
A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
you
So,
just click
know.
that little green checkbox, and it enters you in. You're just in, and it'll
Nice.
let you know when you win. It'll let me know who you are, and then I'll reach out to you and send you your code. All right, so hop
You
in
hear
there.
that? Chat rooms, get on the Discord if you aren't already. Go, 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 go.
That's right. And a big thanks to Noter1 again for that donation. It was very kind of him to do that. Okay, I think that's it. That is the show, everyone.
And how do they get to the Discord? It's frogpants.com and find the link there.
/
That's a good
Discord.
place.
Yep. Just go. You can find it. Every page on the site has a link to the Discord, but if you want the quick way, just go to frogpants.com/Discord and you're in. There's no weirdness. You don't have to have special passwords. You're just in. We make
All right,
it
I
nice
see
and simple.
15 entries already. That's great. You guys are awesome.
So haul ass and get going. That is going to do it for today's show. I would like to mention some new patrons, except I forgot to write their names down, and so that's a problem.
So you would like to, but
I would like to, but I can't. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll have Grandma do the roundup first while I go get these. So, hey, Grandma, what games did we play? No who, but what?
And I understand all this talk of the boobies has probably confused you as to what video games they talked about on this here program. So the games they played was the finals. That was the one where they were shooting. They talked about World of Warcraft, so you probably turned off the podcast. And they talked about House Flipper 2, Grapple Dog. That's the one with the dog that grapples, according to Scott. Shocking. He also talked about Mars First Logistics, which is a game where you're on Mars. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, Wait. You didn't talk about these games. I'm not going to read them.
Yeah.
Fortnite, Blood West, Baldur's Gate 3, Wartales. Bo also mentioned Asgard's Wrath 2 and that he didn't play it, so we're apparently talking about games we didn't play.
I'm going to play next
And
week, Grandma!
He also played Dungeons and Dragons. Good for him.
Oh, good for him. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll now say these names because I have them. Our brand new patrons at patreon.com/core show include Adelaide Plozage. Not sure how to say that. I apologize. Zerty, Koff, Sean O'Connor, William Van Drill, Vorderin.
I love that one threw you.
That one really
the
did.
most off.
Seb and
Like
Casey
Duran
Butler.
Duran.
Look at all these wonderful people, wonderful human beings.
Vorderin really threw Scott this
Yeah,
week.
I want to say shout out to Zerdy, although he left the Season of Discovery Guild, but he was our off tank.
Oh, my.
Last week. But
What'd
then
you
he
do to piss him
disappeared,
off? Did you do something mean? What'd you do?
Yeah,
Like,
why'd you
oh,
kick him out
he
of the
was,
guild?
He was
though?
nice. I think maybe we weren't good enough. At one point, I joked, I'm like, "Welcome to the over 40 raid," and then I think he said he wasn't over 40.
Oh, he was like, I'm not hanging with these olds.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
man.
wanna
Wait a-
hold that
wait a
one.
second.
Hang out with old people.
That's not cool at
Seemed
all.
pretty good, but I guess he's not in the guild anymore.
No,
so
but he
it's
is
fine.
a supporter of the show, which makes me very happy. Patreon.com/core show is where you can go. You'll get no commercials. You'll get pre-show, post-show content. You'll get all kinds of other benefits, including artwork in the mail and other monthly stuff, monthly host shows, specials, all that stuff. So go check it out, patreon.com/core show. And don't forget, coming up, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, we're doing our end of year.
Oh shit, I gotta remember what I played
we
this
gotta
year.
think about that.
I got
think
some
it would
ideas.
I think it would be 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be 2 weeks. And I have some ideas.
21st is our pre-Christmas, and then 28th is our pre-New Year.
Yeah. I have a couple ideas I think it'd be really fun. But we're all gonna we do this every year and we never talk enough, so we're gonna talk this year big time. We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
So watch for that a couple of weeks before the end of the year. You'll get it. Okay, everybody? All right. That's going to do it for us. Talk to the core at gmail.com if you got any questions. I don't know why I said that twice.
Hit
You
us
know,
up with your questions or questions. If you don't have any questions, you can ask us questions, and
That's
maybe
right.
your questions about a question.
That's right. If you'd rather text, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Text your questions about questions, 801-471-0462. That's going to do it for us, for me, for John, for Bo, and for all of you. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
I'm really good at my job, am I not? I'm so happy I can help you out.
Okay, I should have warned you that